The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Now broadcasting from the Right to Offend Media Studios in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, art, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report Live with Sam Whitfield.
But giving offense is good. In fact, it's essential.
Well, giving offense is essential, but giving thanks is also essential at times. And since it's Thanksgiving, we're thankful for you, Right to Offend Media audience. Happy holidays officially. So,
happy Thanksgiving,
Sam is
everybody.
the king of corn. I love it. It's true. It's true.
So, anyway, good evening to everyone. Max, how are you doing? Mort, hope you gentlemen are doing well.
And it is
doing all right.
the eve before I do all the wonderful tips that I gave on the sandwich makers this past Saturday regarding a turkey. Would you like a recap of what I said, Sam? Were you there,
sure.
or did you listen? Do you know?
I listened to part of it, but I think for the audience who listens to
the two really turkey essential tips that a lot of people miss out on, Sam.
Besides the breastises.
First is, and this is important, right? You got to take some type of oil. I guess not seed oil now that RFK is in charge, but you got to take some kind of oil, right? And you rub it all over your hand. Maybe olive oil, I guess, would be, except it's not a seed, right? Anyway, you rub it all over your hands, and you got to really get in there and rub. If you want crispy skin, and a nice golden brown coloration, you got to rub it in up on the breasticles, especially on the breasticles, but also on the legs, right? And then tip number 2, and this is essential, Sam, do not neglect the butthole, okay? There's stuff in the butthole when you get the bird, usually, right, that you need, okay? You might not need it. Some people don't use the giblets and the necks and stuff, but you gotta really, what you gotta do is you gotta get that stuff out to widen it out, right? Really gape it open so that you can stuff that motherfucker really nice and deep. You see? Happy Thanksgiving, Sam.
So what you're saying is you're basically supposed to Bill Clinton the turkey. Then is what
Yes, sir.
is what you're saying. So
you gotta give it the old Barack Obama treatment,
Yeah,
the old Diddy party for the turkey. It's a Thanksgiving freak off, everybody. Just don't let Vince McMahon anywhere near your turkey.
You know what? Speaking of things,
Or Diddy for that matter.
Oh yeah, well,
especially if your turkey's a little underaged,
Well, don't. Well, don't let Ellen DeGeneres. Although I guess she's leaving the country, so
she already left. She's been fleeing in exile like a lesbian version of The Fugitive.
You know what though? Like I'll give her credit.
Probably because she's best friends with Diddy and was at all those parties.
Yeah. No, people were saying that, but I will give her credit. Like, unlike a lot of celebrities, she actually did. She actually left after she promised. So, good on it'll be interesting to see if extradition charges, she might be brought back depending on what gets reeled, if anything.
I mean, yeah, who knows? I did hear that Diddy's. Have you heard this, Sam? Did you hear about this? Diddy's defense is intending to call a whole bunch of whores in his defense, right? Because there are a bunch of whores that went to the freak offs that are like, yo, I rocked it with Diddy. It was great. That's what that's going to be their defense. What do you think about that, Sam?
I mean,
40 specifically. There was 40 ladies of the night cited as being potential witnesses, according to defense filings or whatever.
Well, I mean, I suppose that's as good of a defense as he's going to be able to muster. It's not a good one, but under the circumstances, it might be his only valid one. So,
or hear me out. Just admit that you're a sick fucking pedophile, and we put you up against the wall. No, wait, no, we don't do that in what is it, California? Damn.
Well,
and in Florida does that.
Well, I'm sure there will be plenty of.
I believe in the law, Sam. It would be an absolute tragedy if maybe Justin Bieber or one of these other supposed victims, kind of shot him in the face on stage in front of all of his fans or something. That would be a tragic.
Does California even prosecute pedophiles anymore?
No, I'm pretty sure they actually elect them to Congress.
Yeah.
Scott Wiener. His name is Wiener, and he's a creep. What are the odds?
That's just like.
And then there was Anthony Weiner, who was also a creep.
Famously exposed by my.
Oh, exposed is an understatement, Sam. His whole wiener was exposed.
But I wasn't going to say by Andrew Breitbart, but Andrew Breitbart didn't expose him. Wiener exposed himself, and then
exposed himself, yeah.
And then Andrew Breitbart, the God King of internet, commentary, basically was hey, this guy actually is a freak, and he got vindicated.
Let me ask you this, Sam. How many guys in your life have you ever known named Wiener?
Just the creepy politicians.
Not including them. You don't know them personally. So anybody you've ever known personally, like at school, like in a job, like anywhere in the world, how many guys named Wiener are there really out there?
0.
And then what are the odds that 2 of them are creepy politicians? That is like a sign from God or something.
Yeah, no, I was actually trying to think,
it's not a common name. I've looked into that just because of this coincidence. It's actually such a weird coincidence. It's way more unlikely than getting struck by lightning. It's way more unlikely than winning the lottery twice. It's
I know that
that's an odd coincidence that 2 politicians named Wiener get in trouble with stuff about their wiener.
I know that Anthony Wiener's.
Is this just God's way of mocking me, Sam, with the funniest joke ever?
Yes.
I mean, Shmuley always says God favors the funny, and I remember
he
when
does like a wiener, Sam.
I remember when Anthony Weiner, when that whole thing was going on, his whole excuse was, oh well, Andrew Breitbart is just trying to make fun of my Jewish name. But I'm trying to think here, and I know lots.
I thought it was a German name.
Wieners are Jewish. What?
Yeah, Wiener is a German. I'm pretty sure. I know there are German Jews, but it's still a German word. It's not it's not a Hebrew word.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. His excuse was. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's what his excuse was, and I'm like,
okay. He might be Jewish, and it might be his family's Jewish surname. That's probably true. I don't know, but it's just so because I know a lot of Jewish people, and I've never met a wiener.
Yeah, no, same Same here. I know a lot of Scone burgers or something like that. But yeah, no wieners.
A lot of
So
Stones and I don't know. I know a lot
yeah,
of Jewish people with like normal ass last names too because they Americanized them like a lot of
yeah,
other families did. But it's just silly that it's like comedy gold. The guys named Wiener are gonna get in trouble for something sexual. Why would you elect it? So okay, here's a pro tip: don't elect a guy named Wiener anymore. Solved.
yeah. That might be.
Because the triple wiener, Sam, sounds devastating.
Why would
We
you do
don't
that to
need a
begin
triple
with?
wiener. We already got the double wiener.
Imagine if Diddy's lawyer was.
Oh, don't put Diddy in with the double wiener. Diddy's getting excited listening to this podcast now.
I always. Can I just say for the record, I always thought it was weird his name was Diddy because it sounds a bit like Diddle or something like that.
Well, it used to be Puff Daddy, which, like, dude, I'm old school hip hop as fuck. You know this, Sam, right?
Yeah.
But we thought that was like that's stupider than MC Hammer, actually. Like MC Hammer, at least Hammer is like an aggressive, like it's a hammer, right? You could hammer a beat, right?
Yeah.
I know people look back on him and think corny, but like think about just the name, MC Hammer, right? Vanilla Ice, at least it sounds like something. And then think about Puff Daddy. What the fuck is a Puff Daddy? He's a daddy of Puff. And everybody used to make fun of him because, especially in England, right? Because the word for a person who is of gay origination is a poof.
Yeah.
A poof.
Well,
So poof. And that's how they would say his name too. So he's Poof Daddy. So he changed it to Diddy. And then he's also changed it to other things. His name is Sean. Right? So let's just drop the fucking pretense. It's Sean. You know? Hi, Sean. How's prison, Sean? Fucking Diddy. Quincy Jones. Oh, man. Seeing praise for Quincy Jones makes my stomach fucking churn, Sam.
Yeah.
Bro, if you're mad about Diddy and you're like crying about Quincy Jones, like I seen Ice-T write a thing, Quincy Jones is the greatest human being I've ever known, and it made me want to gag. Because Quincy Jones was, coincidentally, Sam, did you know this? Have you heard about this? Diddy's literal Diddy was his protege in music.
Yeah.
And also pedophilia, apparently.
Yeah. From what I've heard.
Yeah. They like the butt sex with the young guys, Sam. That's what I'm saying. Is they're into that.
Yeah, and
it's a coincidence, Sam. Clearly he didn't get any of the pedophilic tendencies from the known pedophile that he worked with as a music producer, right? The same one accused of touching Michael Jackson, actually.
Yeah, which makes me feel bad for Michael Jackson.
And trying to force Tupac to give up his booty hole for a record contract, Sam, and also DMX, and oh my God, Terry Davis. Terry Davis, the football player. He tried to make him to get an acting gig. Yeah. These are all stories that are told in public about Quincy Jones, right? And that's Diddy's mentor. That's his the guy that brought him in the business, made him, because Diddy was just a rapper. I'm not even going to say he was good. You know what? You know who was good? His best friend, B.I.G., Notorious B.I.G., Biggie, right? Biggie Smalls.
Right.
One of the greatest of all time. I think that's undisputed. If you're into hip hop, it's hard to even dispute that. Yes, he only had 2 albums, but they were 2 of the finest albums of the era, right? And they're defining of that era as well. Like to not just like they're universal, like white people, black people, whatever. If you put it, I love it when they call me Big Papa at a party, they get hype. Okay, Biggie's just one of those guys, and Diddy was more of a producer anyway, right? And he latched on to Biggie. Biggie died mysteriously. Yeah, it was totally Suge Knight, everybody. Yeah, Suge Knight. Oh, he's a felon anyway. Everybody just say it was Suge Knight, and they kind of brush it aside as if that was the truth. But that's not what happened to either Biggie or Tupac. We ain't got time to get into that. But regardless, Puff Daddy also committed a gun crime, New York City, famously at a club, and then passed it off to his friend, who ended up doing the hard time on it. And speaking extensively about that. And the whole time, yeah, the freak offs was like common knowledge. And now his defense. Flash forward to today, he's accused of raping all these little boys and girls. Because I'm not gonna act like they were adults, Sam. Most of them were 15. Right. So let's not play games and say that they were fucking. Oh, it was like a party with 21-year-olds or something. Like, these were children, in my opinion, and in the law's opinion as well. Right.
Yep.
And that's what he's accused of, and his defense is going to be to bring in a bunch of young whores to say they had a great time. What, will the court buy that, Sam? Maybe. Who knows? We've seen crazier things in these days, but it's an interesting defense nonetheless. I thought we could bring some attention on it and really go through the fucking Diddy is a sick fuck.
Yeah.
And the music business is full of sick fucks, by the way.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I just want to take this moment to say, like, you know, we're talking about things we're thankful for. I'm thankful for the independent media scene that we're a part of, because with like you know, my books, and then also like John from Spear Talk, like he's helping out with the indie music scene. And
well, hey Sam, Rumble never said, hey, could you bend over this desk for the next 5 minutes and we'll get you a fucking deal, right? They just let us have a show, and that's great, right?
Yeah.
Whereas other sites, my favorite is the demonetization one. That's basically bend over a desk, right? Because they're like, you said a word, and we're always changing what words are acceptable, but you said a word that we don't think is acceptable, so we're going to put ads anyway. And we're going to take your money.
We're just going to keep your money.
Just stay bent over that desk a little longer, guy. That's the life of a YouTuber right there.
Yep. And we don't have to deal with that. So, you know. But, oh, speaking of YouTube, though, apparently a documentary on Owen Benjamin dropped this week, and people have been wanting to know my
I watched that, yeah,
opinion on it. And here's the thing. So my history with Owen Benjamin has already been like well documented in Porcelain's documentary and in other documentaries. I've been on other people's live stream. I know that he's continued to do weird shit, but like honestly, I barely even pay attention to most of it. And you've mentioned it, and the audience has mentioned it so much, and I didn't know shit about this guy, right? Literally. Yeah. And I follow locales. It's just one of those things. I don't follow the whole internet, right? And so I watched this documentary after hearing for years about this big battle with Owen, and I was just like, okay, I see what happened here. And I look at the rise and the fall of this guy. A couple of things of note. Firstly, it does seem he had some type of like adverse reaction to a large amount of edibles on the Joe Rogan podcast. And that is a thing that happens sometimes when people do way too much pot. Yeah.
Where it breaks their fucking brain, especially if the person has schizophrenic tendencies. That's why the old, you know how like every lie is kind of based on a kernel of the truth, at least the good ones.
Yeah.
One of the lies about marijuana initially was this movie Reefer Madness, okay? And the movie was about a man who smokes pot and then he kills his parents. Now, that's based on a true story. Here's the thing. There's a tense relationship between marijuana and schizophrenia, particularly, or other psychoaffective disorders, where marijuana can help alleviate symptoms in some people and make it way, way worse in others. And particularly in the case of like an OD like that, because that's what I would class that. If you have an adverse reaction, you disappear after you run out of a podcast and you're not heard from for months.
Right.
That's an adverse reaction. And then you see a slow decline after that, where now it made more sense to me, Sam. I was always like, why does he call his people bears if he's so afraid of gay people? I realized, Sam, I figured this out watching the documentary. He is a gay guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense now. So Owen Benjamin is a flaming homosexual who wants other young men to come live in his little compound and have gay schizophrenic butt sex with each other. You see, for male bonding. I get it now.
Yeah.
And that's why we don't talk about it, because he's a crazy person. I see, Sam. You finally gotten me on board, because I'm always like, hey, people say we should talk about this guy. What's the deal? And you're like, well, was this, that, and the other thing. Now I see, Sam.
Well,
he's a gay homosexual man with a mental illness.
Yeah, and when I was part of that, when I was part of his, I don't want to say it was a cult. When I was associated with him,
oh, it's a cult. Yeah, it's a gay, what is it? It's a gay turpentine drinking, butt sex cult.
Yeah. Well,
where they feed off each other's like male essence, right? That's the big thing. The male essence. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Joe, you're right. He is a flat earther. But my point is like,
oh, I forgot about all the crazy things he believes in. Who cares? He's a crazy gay man who is grifting his audience into saying that they hate gay people to then secretly go have butt sex with him.
Yeah.
Was I watching the right documentaries? I couldn't tell if it was about Owen Benjamin or gay pornography. So are you sure this was the documentary? You linked it.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
I know it was about bears, Sam.
Yeah, well, it's like, here's my question. On the locale scale, Max, I mean, you hosted the Cringe Coffee House for years. Like,
I'll tell you what is notable about him. That watching that, honestly, like without all the jokes about how gay he is, it's a joke about how gay he is, not about that he's gay. That's not a joke.
Right.
He's very seriously gay, but and mentally ill. But is he serious? The fact that he got all that money to start like a gay bear compound. And then he got more money to have a gay bear festival. Suggests to me that there are a lot of homosexual men that like him. And that I didn't expect. So for that, he gets a 5. He's not very funny, though. Like, I don't know. Chris Chan, you can just listen to Chris Chan talk and laugh. Right? It's just legitimate. He's not there. That's a 10, right? Chris Chan's a 10.
So
Dave is like a 7, and you got to it's an acquired taste too, right?
Right, but what I'm saying, Max, is
he's like a 5. That's why he's not, and Mersh is only a 6 anyway.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying though,
Mersh is a hard 6.
What I'm saying though, Max, is like Owen's not Cringe Coffee House worthy.
No. Well, no, because people know who he. See, that's the thing too, Sam. Is me, is I have very niche tastes in locales. I find my own, and they're like Dave. Like I'm saying, Dave is just like everything. Every video Dave puts out where it's him talking to the camera makes me laugh, and it doesn't matter what he's talking about. And there's a wide variety of topics, but it's just something about Dave that I find to be gut-bustingly hysterical.
Yeah.
And so for me, Owen Benjamin, like he's the other part of it is he's an edgelord grifter. So he's always trying to say the edgiest thing possible just to be a contrarian. So he doesn't mean a lot of it. And so it's not very funny to me when people are disingenuous like that.
Yeah. No, you got it. So,
except for when I do it, Sam.
So, well, you're not trying to grift and make money off.
I don't take a hard turn into the idea. Okay, I did the whole like lizard man, snake man war with the robots and everything. I'm not going to take a hard turn into trying to sell somebody that I actually believe that to try and get them to like worship me. You understand? That's what I see the difference. He's literally he doesn't believe any of the shit he's saying. I don't think.
No,
He's
does.
full of shit, and he's trying to find the edgiest thing to say to get attention. And also, he pushes out anybody who's critical of him so that there's nobody to say, wait, this is insane. And that's how you get a dedicated group of fucking gay bears that'll follow you around and give you money. But, like, that's not relevant to anything we're doing. I mean, we've been talking to, like, what? Successful authors, philosophers, political analysts, people in a war zone, celebrities, musicians. We've been talking about news that's been happening currently. He's just some schizophrenic gay grifter.
Yeah, he's a schizophrenic who I just happened to cross paths with, and who actually tried to use me to, like, boost his influence at the time. That's literally my only connection.
And we don't keep up just because you fucking like Mersh. We kind of do, but it's only because people bring it to my attention.
Well, also because, like, Mersh just keeps shooting himself in the foot too, and
Mersh makes me laugh. Actually, Mersh is at least a 6. You know what? That might have made him go down because he doesn't make me laugh. So maybe he's like a 4.
Oh yeah,
I was saying 5 because he has done some really stupid shit in a very public setting. I don't know. Yeah. Either way, it just seems like a point like, oh, Owen Benjamin's doing something retarded. Well, no shit, he's retarded.
Yeah, it's not newsworthy at all.
Well, it wasn't happening at the time when we weren't having any news to talk about either. Oh, yeah, remember those days, Sam, when there was, like, the election cycle's 2 years long, except there's droughts, and we're just like, what's going on this week? Yeah, we could have maybe talked about that shit then, I guess, but there wasn't nothing. He's just gone off on a crazy recently. And there, if you haven't noticed, ladies and gentlemen, a lot going on recently. No, I don't want to be the one to clue you in. There's a lot going on, and even I know that, and I don't follow the news nearly as much as any of these guys. Or
oh yeah, a lot going on. But we're doing the Thanksgiving show tonight. However, if you do want to tune in for politics, for those who haven't done so yet, check out my conversation with Gabe and Adam from Monday. We did like a 3-hour conversation on Monday about Trump's cabinet picks, and
true that.
Not just that, but also I think what's interesting too is like where the Republican Party goes after Trumpism, and some of Gabe's answers, at least what his thoughts were, kind of at first they surprised me a little bit.
Well, there is no after Trump. There's Trumpism after Trump. The way this is what I've been saying for years. Way Reaganism existed after Reagan, right?
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like where
I think that's a safe bet, because now the Trumpism is definitely the millennial energy of the party, right?
Where do the Democrats go after Trump?
Well, Sam, real quick, I've been watching all day about some of this stuff. Did you see that the Kamala campaign staff went on Pod Save America, and they aired some of their thoughts on the election? Sam, did you hear about this?
I saw that Kamala made like a video today, but I didn't see the Pod Save America thing.
Right. Well, they really roasted her specifically, actually, and blamed her for a lot of the campaign. What they said, the chief strategist said, was that she wanted to separate Kamala from Joe Biden, as an image, right? And to completely kind of reinvent herself with new policies. And Kamala didn't want to do that because she's like, I was a part of those decisions that you're talking about. And people will say that, and I'll look stupid. And because of that, because of the conflict of ideologies from her own campaign staff, She was not even able to answer any questions for the whole fucking election cycle, as you might have noticed, Sam. And I mentioned before, Kamala actually is good at answering questions. So I had said there's something going on here. I think this is actually it, Sam. She and her own staff couldn't even agree on whether they were going to run as Joe Biden too, or completely different than Joe Biden. And because of that conflict between the staff, they literally could not come up with a message or even get answers to fucking simple questions properly.
Right, and that's
and they wanted this bitch with that team to run the country. They blew $1.5 billion on this campaign. So yeah, basically the left media,
and then ended up in debt.
Today, it is stomping on the ashes of Kamala's career, just so you know. That's what that is with those girls going on Pod Save America, and I highly suggest you at least check out the highlights, Sam, because it's really, really, she'll say some shit you don't like, and that's fine, but even my wife was getting mad at some of the shit the woman was saying, but I was like, listen, I'm interested in the conflict she's talking about between Kamala and some of her staff, or it seems like there was teams. There was two teams of staff. One seems to be the wokesters, and the other seemed to be the more pragmatic political ones who are like, if we're going to win this campaign, we need to message this way. And because of that conflict, that's why she didn't go on Joe Rogan. That's why she couldn't answer questions, even though she could have answered questions a lot better than she could. They couldn't come up with a policy plan, Sam. They didn't have anything down on paper.
Yeah, well, like I said, we dodged a bullet.
And I mean, this is her literal campaign team that was saying this in public. Also, Sam, another thing coming from the left worth watching, Anna Kasparian did an interview with Piers Morgan, and she said she is completely done with the Democratic Party. She isn't saying she's a Republican. She's going independent, whatever. But all the things she said about the Democratic Party were from the perspective of somebody that lives in a Democratic state, in a Democratic city, right?
Yeah.
And her point was, from that perspective, which party harms me more? It's clearly the Democrats.
Yeah, well,
and so I'm done with them until they can get their shit together.
Well, I couldn't see the Piers.
And Kasparian's been breaking away from the left for like at least a year now.
She went really far with it on this Piers Morgan interview. And she basically said, I've severed ties with the Democrat Party, and I'll probably never vote for them again.
Well, I couldn't.
Good for her.
Well, I haven't been able to see the video of the Piers Morgan interview yet because it's behind a paywall. But I did see Sargon of Akkad's analysis on that interview, and
I watched it on YouTube, Sam. I'll link you.
Okay.
It was official from his channel. It wasn't behind a paywall or anything.
Okay, yeah, I might have.
It probably was for like a day or two. They do that kind of thing, right?
Yeah. I think that's what it was, and I'll go back and check it. But Sargon actually he did a video. I'll have to link to you. He basically went through her time. Basically, went through the timeline of kind of when she was a hardcore lefty versus kind of her gradual evolution of.
Well, I don't need a
breaking away.
I don't need a smarmy British cigarette to tell me about that. I've witnessed it myself, but thanks anyway.
Yeah, no, but
that's what I'm saying. I got this Tim Pool video for you, Max. Yeah, thanks. I could probably get that information right away. Sorry, Sam. Continue.
What was the? Oh, that's right. Speaking of British cigarettes, Milo is now allying himself with Tim Pool.
Didn't you talk about this last time? And I was like, who cares?
Did we?
But it is funny.
I mean, is it?
No, I think we talked about it in the disc in the Gilded.
Oh, maybe. Well, I'm like, is it funny though? I mean, that's like I'm a disgraced right-wing celebrity. Let's hang out together club. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, I find it.
They should hook up with Dr. Disrespect. Okay, Sam, I am, for the good of our brand and our show, I am never going to talk about Dr. Disrespect again from here on out.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm taking. I know your stance, and my stance is kind of the same. So yeah.
As is mine.
Well, my stance is this: imagine what you could do, CEO of Rumble, Chris, if you took that $20 million and you gave each of these independent creators that are doing a great job one of them, but you spend it on, well, you get what you pay for, I guess.
Yep. Speaking of that, while we're on the topic of takes that aren't exactly popular, there are a lot of quote unquote based movie critics who don't like Gladiator 2 because they think it's like woke or something. I saw Gladiator 2 yesterday. It's not as good as the first Gladiator, but it's still a good movie that's worth seeing in theaters. And I don't.
Whoa! So worth seeing in theaters, Sam. So this is a fantastic fucking movie, then, right? Because that shit's expensive as fuck.
Not if you go on Tuesday afternoon matinees, which is
not even that. What you think I would see a movie not on a Tuesday matinee, Sam? Do I look like the kind of guy, Sam, that goes to the theater on a Friday night?
Well,
Friday night with the wife.
Yes, you do.
No,
seem like
Tuesday afternoon with the wife.
Okay,
maybe once every decade or so.
Okay, well, fair enough.
For it to be worth seeing in theaters, to me, it better be a fucking phenomenal movie. That better be a goddamn can't miss, once in a lifetime, generational fucking film for me to get my ass in a theater to go see that shit.
Okay, well, nothing.
Especially made by a big corporation, Sam. You learned anything about me yet?
Nothing is that good. But my point is Gladiator 2 is.
No, the last one I saw was, Sam. It was the Metallica movie where they had the fucking riot and shit. And I saw it in 3D. That was in like 2017, Sam.
Yeah.
You see what I feel about theaters, Sam?
Yeah, no, I largely agree with you. I wouldn't I would not had it not been a family thing, I probably wouldn't have gone to see it because
I mean that's a good enough reason. And hey, if it was worth your sitting through it and everything, then that's fine, right? I'm just kind of I fucking hate the fucking movies, man. And I hate movies today. You know what I watched last night, Sam? I watched Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Caring and Love the Nuclear Bomb.
Yep. Yeah, that one's a classic.
Yeah. You know what that's not? It's not written for 4-year-olds.
No, it's not.
Everything today is written for fucking 4-year-olds, and it's challenging, Sam.
Yeah, it really is.
I'm retarded. I need it to be written for 3-year-olds or 35-year-olds.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Well, you know what is written for 35-year-olds, definitely not for 3-year-olds. But
there's some advanced 3-year-olds that might really enjoy it, Sam.
You can
look at the colors on that cover, Sam. That's eye-catching.
You can purchase Blood Ties Volume 1, now available in paperback, and in hardcover as well here. However,
I'm why not... stop at 35? What, you think 85-year-old people would not enjoy Blood Ties?
Oh, the 85-year-olds definitely would.
Yeah, right. Stop being ageist, Sam, and sell the book to everybody.
Well, 35 and up, I would say. Or
he is ableist.
So. That excludes you. You're excluded from your own. Damn it! What are we doing? What's even going on anymore?
Okay, well,
Diddy done did it again. Silence. That's what I like.
That's my maybe Maxine is right about him expression.
There is definitely a Call of Duty clan called Diddy now that is in like every fucking lobby. There's also a Trump. I tried to do RTO, but apparently that's like an official clan, so they made me change it.
That sucks.
RTO Media?
Well, no, just the clan tag.
No, yeah, I know RTO, but yeah. Anyway, though, so you can buy both these in paperback and
hardcover.
Hardcover. Ebook is out there. Audiobook is probably going to be released in mid-January. With a different narrator than Doug Green. But you can also buy the Shadows of Deception saga. And I've got
it was a big package deal. A big package, Sam. Not like those small packages, the kind that you need two hands when you pick them up,
Yeah, no, so get your
the big meaty packages, Sam,
Absolutely. So you can buy your American Instinct books collection for Christmas, and Black Friday is coming. So, but per our annual tradition, Max, it's one of your favorite times of the year, Thanksgiving. So why don't you regale us with tales of Thanksgiving history?
Oh, is that it? Well, I mean, first of all, this year I got my turkey up there right now, making sure it's nice and thawed out. I have some delicious homemade food with my family, so that's cool. And that's what we usually do. That's kind of our tradition. My wife touched on it on the Sandwich Makers podcast. I used to eat with her dad, who cooked for years before that. He handed it off to me because he said I was the best turkey cook. I won hands down. It wasn't even a contest, and just handed me the knife. And I've been doing it 13 years, pretty much the same way. I listen to music while I cook and be a loud, obnoxious prick in the kitchen and have fun and make a good feast, and everybody enjoys it. And it's the Thanksgiving here is really tied to this place, right? And a lot more than people might think, because the story itself takes place essentially, within a 30-mile radius of where I am, right? There's the Plymouth colony, and people know where that is in Plymouth, right? Plymouth Rock. But what you have to understand is they had settled out a little bit since then, right? And so there was the colony was one thing, but there's little villages speckled all out, right? And they didn't even really know the Indians were people. And I don't mean that in like they were a racist way. They only saw shadows in the woods at first. Because the Indians were the Wampanoag, specifically the locals, as well as the Massasoit people, who they did also encounter, but not nearly as much because they're up north. The Wampanoag tribe specifically, and then they encountered them on the edges of their villages, the same kind of way, right? And so what happened is these pilgrims are just out, farming, foraging, doing whatever they had. Particularly in the first encounter, they had dogs with them. Is notable because the dogs barking scared the Indians, who then thought that there were wolves, right? According to the Indian side of events, because we have both sides in this. They were not uncivilized people, the Wampanoag. This is a misconception a lot of people have, right? the Wampanoag people were pretty well civilized, and they did have writing by the point of the, they had a written tradition and a written history. Most of their religion was told through oral tradition rather than written down, but their actual history, they were pretty meticulous about it with these belts. I don't know if you've ever seen the belts, Sam, but a lot of tribes have them where they'll weave a story into the belt. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen some of those. We have those in Michigan for the Michigan tribes.
Yeah. And so, like, I don't know. I've always been fascinated with local history because this place has a lot of history, and Massachusetts is like the birthplace of the Revolution, for example, and all kinds of crazy, wild shit. And of course, there's, ghost stories to you're blue in the face, Sam, if you ever dig those rabbit holes. And particularly the area I live in is known as the Triangle, the Bridgewater Triangle. I actually don't live in there anymore. I grew up in the Bridgewater Triangle, and I can't say I didn't see anything weird. Well, that's a whole other story. But what you do have is, so you have the Wampanoag. They've had their settlement. A lot of people have the other misconception that they were like, what do you call it? Nomadic. But the Wampanoag were not nomadic. The Wampanoag had a village, and they also had a summer village, as you might do. They went camping. You see, when it was nice summertime, and the place they went camping, coincidentally enough, is the place I go camping. That's why I know a lot of this. And that place is called the Massasoit State Park, and it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of land, very peaceful. And that's where they would spend their summers, which is kind of far away from where Plymouth Colony is. So through the summertime, most of the people were over at the lake, essentially, swimming, camping for the summer. And the people back home was fewer because they're just there to kind of guard the place and keep the crops going and everything. And all the women and children and most of the young guys go off and they go camp and hunt and fish over there for the summer months. Then they would come back. So they're not nomadic. They're literally, it's a summer camp. Okay. They're not moving around the whole territory. And by the way, the people, the colonizers, the colonial people, always respected the Wampanoag's land, and so there's none of those land stealing stories here either. They didn't get gypped out of land or anything like that. So they encounter each other. I described. They have the edges of the villages, right? And the Pilgrims and the Indians both now have hunting parties out in the woods, hunting. Okay, and the Pilgrims from Plymouth Colony, they have dogs with them, so they're a few miles away from base, maybe 10, right? And they're out all day looking for game to hunt and stuff to forage as well. You pick up mushrooms and stuff that are safe, and that's what the Indians were doing too, coincidentally enough, right? And they had bows and arrows, and this is the first contact was that the dogs barked. And the Indians, in the ensuing scuffle, thought first that it was a rabid wolf attack, right? And so they shot in the direction of the wolf, and they hit one of the Pilgrims square in the jaw, according to at least, one of the people who claims to be a witness.
Ooh.
And it killed him. Either way, wherever it hit him, the one first arrow killed the Pilgrim. His name was was John something, and I think it might have been John Good because a lot of them were named John Good. That's besides the point. Or John Smith. I'm not sure off the top of my head because this is all off the top of my head, Sam. I brushed up a little bit, but I pretty much know the story well. And so, because obviously now one of your men is down from shadows in the woods. What do you think the Pilgrims did but open fire? Right?
Yeah, you're going to fire wildly.
Right. So John's down. He's dead. He's dead, and you fire into the woods, but they're muskets, so you only get one shot, right? Indians scurry off. They never even saw them, so they still did not know these were human beings because they had not seen them. This is a new place. They've only been here at this point. I believe they had been here for 4 months. So their settlement was very not prepared, and they also weren't prepared for a New England winter, which is where the story kind of leads, obviously. But that's important, right? The first contact between the Pilgrims of Plymouth Colony and the natives did result in like violence, right?
Mm-hmm.
But later on, they had a couple more scuffles. It's not the details of the little scuffles are not particularly important. What is important is after a little bit, essentially the smartest Indian is almost objective. Squanto, he was not the chief, but he was very clever, I guess is the word for it, because he decided that he was going to go and approach the white men. And now by this point, they had seen the Indians. Now they knew that they were humans, but they also thought they were dangerous because every time we see each other, we shoot at each other, right? So they must be dangerous, and they're primitives, like the folks back home said they would be, right?
Yeah.
That you just have to hide from them. You can't communicate with them. They don't have a culture because honestly, when the British went to a lot of these third world places now, in Africa and other places, it was more like that. But the Wampanoag people were actually fairly sophisticated, Sam, in the 1600s. Like I was trying to say, like they had trade routes, they had a government, they had police forces. Like this was not savages. Completely.
Yeah, they actually had a civilization.
Yeah. Now you could definitely like there's also the noble savage myth that like all of them were like this, but particularly so that's not true. Like some of the tribes out west in particular were kind of bloodthirsty, particularly when they first. But
Right.
the Wampanoag were never that, and that's why a lot of them are still there today. Their descendants. Anyway, obviously they're killing each other at first, though, right? Because like that's scary. To them, it's the crazy white men in the big hats. Like, what the fuck is this? And they have fire sticks that go boom. Like, that's wild.
Yeah.
And then on our side, we got bows and arrows and shit, and we hide in the trees, and that's scary as fuck too, because they're expecting what they would refer to as a savage, right? The thing they would define a savage by is not being able to have like projectile war with them, like the bows and arrows of the Wampanoag, which were often the I forget the term for it, but they're doubled back and forward, recurved, right?
Oh yeah, the recurve bows.
So they can peg at you from a very far away, because the wood here was just perfect for the recurve, because we have these gnarled trees. In fact, their main tree, the council oak, is from an area I grew up in, and it's like that. It's shaped kind of like that recurve already, so it makes for a really good bow. And so it was more than like, famously the even Prince King Charles currently, I guess this is why I can say it, King Charles referred to African tribesmen as spear truckers. Okay, that's definitely how people in the 17 and 1600s would have seen them as well. But the Pilgrims have encountered these people, and they are not throwing spears. Okay, they have a long range, lethal advantage over us, and we have guns. That's terrifying, right?
Yeah, probably a lot more sophisticated in some ways.
They don't speak any language we've ever heard of before. They yell while they're shooting arrows at us in weird fucking ways that we've never heard before, and they seem very aggressive. Of course they seem aggressive, just like we seem aggressive to them, right? Because we came in and shot their dudes up. Also, we're these crazy white dudes with the big hats, like I said. Well, to them, these were the dark-skinned, tree people. They called them tree people at first.
Yeah.
Because they thought they were literal tree people, like they lived in the trees. And, anyway, Squanto, that's important, right? Squanto was clever enough to try and talk to them, and it took a while, like a week to a month, depending on who you ask, of him coming up and them teaching him like words for water, and then he would translate back and forth, and eventually they came to a pretty good understanding of each other. And they understood then, if this one tree people isn't dangerous, then maybe we could talk to the rest of them. And so they did. They had convened a meeting and they said, we're going to stop killing each other. First important thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second important thing is that they agreed that they might help each other out. And the Indians offered them, in particular, taught them a couple of things about living in New England in particular, because they, again, weren't crazy migrant roaming the lands. They were farmers, and so they taught them how to grow corn, and which was not a thing that the English had seen before. That's where corn comes from entirely in terms of Western culture, is from the Wampanoag people. Giving it on the Thanksgiving feast, it ended up having corn at it, as well as pumpkins, which was not known to them as much either, and not in the way that we kind of think of a pumpkin now. Anyway, they had like gourds and stuff, but not like a big orange pumpkin. And tobacco, other big one. They taught them how to grow all of these things, and then they smoked the peace pipe, which wasn't a peace pipe. It's actually what they would call the deal pipe in their tongue, but the Pilgrims didn't understand that, so it's still to this day people call it a peace pipe. It's not a peace pipe. It was a contract pipe. You smoke from the contract pipe because we've all now agreed on a contract.
Right.
The white folk didn't know that. And so it led to more bloodshed later down the road. But not today. Because today we're talking, this is around the fall time. Now they've made peace, right? Throughout the summer, they had little skirmishes, like I said, while the bulk of the troops were away. But the troops being like the Indian Braves, essentially the fighting force, right? And they were away. So they only had small skirmishes with older hunters and stuff. When Squanto came back and then, ingratiated himself to the Pilgrims, he brought them gifts, was what it was. He went in carrying like a turkey, I believe was one of them. People say that happened specifically on Thanksgiving. It didn't. The Squanto going to the Plymouth colony happened like a month or two before that. And also that the feast of Thanksgiving that we're talking about, the first Thanksgiving, took place over the course of a week, like 7 to 9 days. It wasn't just one day.
Well, I'll tell you what, if
and it was real quick, and it was because of the winter time and them asking for help. But go on, Sam. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, sometimes like I think maybe having like a week-long festival would be better for Thanksgiving, because like I don't know about you, Max, but I'm kind of like, wow, Thanksgiving is literally at the end of the month this year.
It kind of sucks that we only get like a half week off and the kids and stuff, especially with travel conditions and things. Like for example, my son, his school was Monday and Tuesday this week.
Yeah.
Then that would leave you, if you needed to travel, you have to travel on Wednesday. You have to. There's no way around it, right? Or you have to take your kid out of school an extra day.
Yeah.
They don't care about parents, Sam, when they schedule this shit. I'll tell you that first and foremost. I can't wait until they dismantle the fucking Department of Education, because teachers have way too much power and they know it, and they like to passive aggressively flex it every chance they get. And fuck cat ladies. Back to you, Sam.
Is that why Thanksgiving is so late on the calendar mostly, though? Is because of fucking teachers?
No, it's always the last Thursday, and it's always the same. It's always the same Thursday of the month.
It's the fourth Thursday of November.
Yeah, it's always the fourth Thursday of November. So it just happened to be later this year. I just wanted to point out that fuck teachers.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I agree with that, and fuck university professors too for making
Well, if teachers are a monster, then the university professors are Frankenstein.
No, they're the fucking hydras.
True. I'm no longer in college, but when I was, it was always a real fucking joy to have Thanksgiving and then have finals week be the very next fucking week.
Baller. Yeah. Teachers don't give a fuck, but
we don't pay them enough though.
yeah, I hate that, especially in my state where I know for a fact that the median salary for a teacher is 6 figures, and they still complain they don't get paid enough, and they have an entitled fucking attitude about it. And fuck. Anyway, before we go off on teachers, Sam, where were we? Squanto. Squanto is a great guy.
Teachers don't get paid enough, but they get 3 months off a fucking year.
Yeah, and they diddle kids. Anyway, Squanto. So, yeah, he's a cool dude, really smart, taught the Pilgrims some shit. They agreed to have a treaty. That's where I was at, right? Yeah. And pay no attention to all the horrible things I say. So, Squanto then has this deal, and it stays perfectly fine. They don't attack each other anymore. They meet peacefully, in the woods. They will call out to each other now, and they're able to, hey, what's up? And so everything's fine for a while, and until the winter sets in, and by all accounts, even geologically, it was one of the harshest winters this area has ever seen. Happened to be that particular winter, their first winter here. Was it the winter of 1620, I believe? Anyway, that the winter of 1620. Winter of 1620. By the fall time, the Pilgrims thought that they were doing pretty good. Okay, they had their corns growing and their tomatoes and other things that were local here, as well as some stuff they tried to grow from England, which a lot of it didn't take. And then there was a rat infestation, Sam.
Oof.
Yeah, so the rats took up residence in the barn of the Pilgrims and ate a good portion of that year's meal. The winter stores on top of that, which was, to keep you alive through the winter.
That's a damn shame.
Not all of it, Sam, but enough of it to cause a significant problem, right? And when Squanto got word of this, they agreed to help, and they kind of exchanged their they basically they had a potluck. No other way to put it. They had a potluck. And the idea being is they had this big week-long feast of Thanksgiving and hung out with each other, got to know each other, and also got out of the cold, camaraderie. And also, it would help not eat up all of their winter food stores for the year, you see?
Oh, yes, it was a benefit for them, too.
Right. Well, it was mostly to benefit the Pilgrims, Sam. It was actually mostly selfless on the part of the Indians could have just said, fuck them. Absolutely, the Indians could have just said, fuck them. The modern wokest, the leftist crazies would tell you the Indians should have said, fuck them, right?
Fuck a white man.
But the relationship, Sam, that was born from that first interaction, starting negatively and ending in that first Thanksgiving. Yeah, I mean, there was a war afterwards, don't get me wrong, King Philip's War, and we could talk about that sometime, but I have a lot to say about it. But that was later down the line, right? And for this time, and probably, I want to say 100 years afterwards, these people lived side by side as allies, right?
Yeah. Well, also, I think a lot of people, on the woke side, they always forget that, Indian tribes, they were fighting amongst each other.
Right, right. That's why then the Wampanoag tribe caught shit from other tribes from like the New York area and everything for being helpful to these people, because once the colonies started going further inland and other Indian tribes started interacting with them, things went different. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, people know about like the story of Pocahontas. That's the Virginia colony story. Yeah, I mean, like they all have their own, first encounter story, I guess, so to speak. But the first, I like ours because the first Thanksgiving is perfect. They came bearing turkeys, which are locally, right now, turkeys are actually invading cities around here because they're kind of overpopulated. I've mentioned this on the show, Sam. I face down with wild turkey gangs all the time.
They must be just like, holy shit, it's a giant.
No, they like, go!
They chase them giant.
And I'm like, I don't want to fight you, bro. And they're like, and then
You don't want to fight us, but we'll fight you, bitch.
And then 10 of them walk out from like the bushes behind the first one. And you just keep walking. And I'm like, I don't want to fight you, bro. Because what? They kick. And with their claws are like bigger than my fingers, Sam.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I've seen them. My neighbor Terry, shout out to Terry if he ever listens to this. Actually, yeah, he has a pet turkey in his yard named Bert. And if you've never seen what a turkey looks like in person, folks, they look like fucking aliens.
Well, it's especially bad when you have like a gang of 13.
Like
You have a gang of 13 of them now, all mean mugging you, Sam.
Yeah, and also like
I have pictures. I'll just stop and take a picture of them looking at it because I'm like, well, this will be evidence at least. They'll know what happened when I get killed by a gang of turkeys. That's my luck, Sam. I would get killed. But they are delicious though.
they are.
Now they just need to start letting me hunt those turkeys because they're just roaming around. They're kind of a nuisance. And then I could eat, them bitches is like 50 pounds too. That would be some good eats. Unfortunately, Sam, in Massachusetts, I have to hunt them with a butter knife, so it's not very effective.
Oh well, yeah, you're fucked in that case because
I'm allowed. Let's see, what am I allowed to hunt a turkey with? Garrote wire. Yeah, butter knife. Some chewing gum and a spoon.
So MacGyver that shit.
I'm not sure that garrote wire would work really well on a turkey.
It'd be very satisfying to strangle a turkey like that, though, Sam. Think about it.
Yeah, but
it's
like
such a big neck, right? You can't go wrong. You just squeeze anywhere.
Yeah, but like those claws, man, like, jeez.
Well, that's why you get behind it, Sam, and you mount it like you're about to ride it, and then you crush it while you strangle it. Have you never hunted a turkey with a garrote wire before?
I have not, but you clearly have.
I've hunted turkeys with a lot of implements, Sam. Turkeys are a nuisance. I've shot turkeys with bows. I've stabbed a turkey to death with a knife. I've fucking decapitated a domestic turkey because it was his time to fucking go. I've decapitated countless chickens. Dude, I'm a country boy. What the fuck?
Yeah,
countless chickens, Sam. If it bothers you, hey, audience, if it bothers you that an animal gets killed for you to eat, I'm sorry, but like that's what happens. And sometimes if you're on a farm, you have to kind of do it yourself.
Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't bother me It doesn't bother me one bit. I just never heard of like, I'd heard of like breaking a turkey's neck, but I never heard of like garroting a turkey Godfather style or anything like.
It basically beheads it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
skirts upwards, Sam. So you want to not stand directly above the neck. That's a trick that you learn killing turkeys and chickens.
Yeah, otherwise you'll get caught.
Turkeys only run around a little, like they more kind of flop. Chickens will straight up like walk around like nothing happened for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it. It's hilarious. If you have a morbid sense of humor, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean it's just a part of life from where I'm from. It's like, yeah, oh, that chicken, he'll bleed out. Don't worry about it.
Well, I mean, yeah,
he's gonna get all bloody and shit, and I gotta clean him anyway. So just let him run around.
There's nothing better than farm fresh eggs, though. You have to.
No. What's better than that is farm fresh chicken that you just beheaded and fucking plucked yourself and made a delicious roast with.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't. My wife even pointed out on Sandwich Maker. She's like, he names them and gives them backstories. It's like I'm from the fucking country. It's livestock, bro. What do you? She's a chick. It's fine. But chicks from the country aren't. Look, I've seen chicks pluck a fucking chicken. Okay, and I don't mean pull their feathers. I mean I strangle them.
No. Those country girls, they'll wrangle, chicken necks and then some.
No, my wife's a little too fancy for all that. She's a city girl for sure.
Paw tuck it.
But I have no problem strangling a chicken, Sam. So where were we? Squanto, right. Anyway, Thanksgiving, they showed up with turkeys. Yeah, turkeys. They probably strangled them, like I was saying.
Yeah.
Like the turkeys are tough because it takes like 2 minutes. It's a little awkward. It's a long period of time to be strangling something. Anyway, maybe this is just my trauma. I don't know. It doesn't bother me anymore, though. I'm desensitized to it, Sam. Anyway, they took their turkeys by the necks, most likely, and there was 2 of them, and they offered them up, and then the pilgrims were like, well, we got all this other kid, and they put together, and they had a big feast, and they learned each other's languages and lived happily ever after as a Thanksgiving miracle. For about 100 years, till King Philip reigned anarchy and war across the countryside. Woo! History.
Yeah,
and then there was peace in the land until there was no longer peace in the land, and that motherfucker would string pilgrims up by their fucking necks.
Well, that's
it took a while. We didn't get right there.
Well, that's the history of civilization, right? There are periods of peace and periods of war, and
sometimes you got to strangle a chicken.
And in between, we strangle turkeys and chickens and eat turkeys, and occasionally, chickens will chase, dudes in wheelchairs too. So.
You should have a pet. You should have a. I would want you to have a pet chicken, Sam. I think that would be like right on brand. Where it's Sam sitting there, and on his shoulder is this pet chicken.
I kind of did when I was growing up in Colorado. We had like 5 of them. So.
Or maybe I don't know. Maybe just some kind of shoulder bird, but not a parrot, because I feel like it would copy the worst things you say.
Oh my god! Yeah. Oh my god! Yeah.
That's the reason to get a parrot.
No African grays for you though. We've talked.
God damn it! Fuck you.
We've talked about this. So.
Yeah, Joe in chat says, hard to believe a MA guy can be a country boy till one moves to MA. I get it. I'm just not that part of MA. Yeah, it's a small farm town that I'm from, right? And there's a lot of those around. People think of Boston. It's like, this is not Boston, the state, bro. And I mean, I guess I'm like a northern version of a redneck, right? Grew up in a trailer park too, Sam, before we moved to the farm town.
And yeah, you don't speak with the fucking retarded accent. See?
Well, because that would drive me like I hate that shit, so it would make me insane.
I know you. No, I know it does, but that's what I'm saying. Max grew up in the trailer park, and he can speak. He can speak more coherently than some guys from Boston.
Oh, shout out to the Catholic Church for making me learn Latin.
Based.
And my grandmother for being a stickler for grammar.
Also based. So yeah, when did the history of deep fried turkey come about, Max? No, just kidding.
1982. It's July. Cletus is in the backyard, and suddenly inspiration strikes, and he has an idea. He looks at that cooler, and he's like, what if that cooler was full of fucking oil? I could deep fry shit in it.
Pro tip, folks. This is coming from a fireman's nephew. If you do decide to deep fry a turkey tomorrow,
Never thaw it. Make sure it's frozen solid first, right, Sam?
Oh yeah. That way you can absolutely go to the emergency room on Thanksgiving.
No, because that way it'll get that crispy skin on the outside without burning on the inside, Sam. See? The fuck deep fries a turkey anyway? Philistines.
Rednecks.
Yeah.
Roasted is literally no. That's the thing though, is it's like Bubba shit. It's like more expensive to do that. You need how much oil? You need a fucking fryer. Jesus, why not just get a fucking oven and turn it to 375 for 4 hours? Oh, that would be too hard.
My uncle when he was fire chief, he in Telluride, Colorado, though he would always tell me, like, you would not believe the amount of calls we get from people like either burning themselves or like setting their yards on fire from people like trying to deep fry turkeys.
It's so not worth it. And you know why I came up with the idea in the first place, Sam, like this, is because they can't cook a turkey that's not dry. Let me tell you about how you get a turkey that's not dry, Sam. I was on this earlier, right? You got to get your hands all nice and oiled up with some really high grade oil. Sometimes it helps, Sam, to also use seasonings, and I'll get into that in a second, but you get your hands all oiled up and you got to massage. You start with the breasticles, you see, and you move over through all the areas, and then you massage the legs. You gotta be really good with you gotta get all over and rub them legs nice and hard. And that gets it really ready for when you're gonna get it hot in the oven, you see? And then you take the spices, right? That's where it is. Like a dry rub. You put them right on your hands because your hands still have the oil on them. Right back onto those breasticles, Sam, and you rub them real nice and good. Rub those legs, and you'll be ready to go for your Thanksgiving feast.
What spice mix do you use for your turkey?
I am a fan of a proprietary blend I do myself of a little bit of oregano, touch of basil, garlic salt, but not too much because I got a heart condition, so salt I go minimum on, black pepper, and a touch of chili powder.
Ooh. The chili that actually sounds like it would be really good.
It comes out such that you like to actually eat the skin, even the kind of people that don't normally like turkey skin. It gets that nice crispy.
Oh, I love turkey skin though. So like,
and also see the oil keeps the moisture inside the bird. That's the big joke is, yes, my tip is rub oil on the bird, but I like to make it much more intense than that because it makes people uncomfortable. So you got to massage them breasticles, Sam. Make sure you're massaging the breasticles and do not neglect the butthole.
I mean,
you will regret it if you neglect the butthole, Sam.
I mean, that's also what my ex-girlfriend said, and that's why she's my...
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
So... Mortheous, what are you doing for Thanksgiving, sir?
Four of us kids are going up to my mom's house.
Oh, that sounds fun.
That does sound fun.
Does mom make a good turkey?
Mom makes a great turkey.
Nice.
And there's one of the four of us that has a birthday around Turkey Day, so it's usually Thanksgiving plus a birthday.
Well, big shout out to Mort's mom for being Mort's mom. because he's awesome. So she must be a great lady.
Yeah, mom's great. Mom's always been my rock.
Nice.
Indeed. Shout out to my mom and my
Shout out to
stepdad.
Sam's Bob. Yeah, true.
And
Shout
to my
out to family's mom.
and to my stepdad, but who are both cooking. It's like a joint venture for them to cook the turkey. We do like a dry brine thing. We've been doing it 2 years in a row.
Those usually work okay. Yeah.
Yeah, those are fine, but like it takes 2 days to if you're gonna do a brine, folks, it takes 2 days. Like you can't do I know a lot of people try and brine it the same day, and you can't do that. Like even if you do it super early, so
Some
anyway.
people, silly people. Some people even forget to take the turkey out until the night before. Sam, can you believe this?
Oh yeah,
What a rookie! Who would do that?
You know.
Yeah. Somebody stupid.
Also,
Somebody retarded might do that, Sam. So anyway, my turkey's up in a bath of water upstairs. Go ahead.
Well, also, I saw more just tweet like, "Don't let politics ruin your Thanksgiving." That is true. Or just make sure that your entire family is based in red pilled already. And
that would be the ideal. Unfortunately, one of the people is not. So yeah.
Or you all get together and pick on the one that's not.
Oh well, yeah. That's fun. That's fun too. So,
he said, "I'm a Gentile. I eat ham." I don't know what that has to do with fucking turkey, bro. Turkey's not a Jewish thing. Last everything gotta be Jewish. Jesus.
I mean,
I eat ham too. Actually, we do both. We do a ham and a turkey usually. So
I eat bacon on Thanksgiving morning usually, always. So,
yeah. Well, no, like a good glazed ham is a cool Thanksgiving side.
Yeah.
Oh, don't cook turkey? Well, fair enough. It's not for everybody. A lot of people will fuck it up too. And knowing that it's not your favorite thing and knowing it's not what you want to do, is there nothing wrong with that. I know people that don't even celebrate Thanksgiving, to be honest with you, Sam.
You know what though? Like I can appreciate the people who put in the effort to like make a Thanksgiving meal no matter what it is. As opposed to people who just
right on. He's okay. If you worked in restaurants, I feel you, brother. I like cooking. I cook a lot, and so Thanksgiving is one of my favorite things to cook. It lets me be a little creative.
Yeah,
and also make puns about sexually inappropriate things, like I've been doing, to make my wife uncomfortable. Now I get an audience of more than just her, but it's usually just to make her uncomfortable. Is she still in here?
I don't know if she is, because I haven't heard the fourth I haven't heard the fourth chair go, "Oh my God, Max," or anything like that. So could be worse though.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, and my boy's excited. Actually, tonight, Sam, I made I had a cabbage. Somebody gave me a cabbage, and I was like, well, I don't really have a Thanksgiving related recipe for that. So I chopped it up real fine and made like a stir fry with it and some chicken for dinner tonight. My boy was skeptical and then ended up like loving it so much I had to give him some of mine.
That's based.
Yeah,
steal
well,
it.
he's usually really picky too, so it's he likes cabbage, barbecued cabbage. You cook it a long time, and you get it nice in that fancy pan I got. I showed it off when I went camping.
Well, barbecued anything will be good mostly.
Yeah, but you let it like caramelize with the cabbage, right? Like and some spices and things. You really cook it down, and it's called. There's a word in Japanese that I forget for it, but it's called candied cabbage, and it just requires a sweet sauce. Barbecue will do, or any other sweet sauce,
Hmm.
and then
Inter-
chicken or beef or whatever what I do is I pull out all the cabbage from the middle of the pan. I throw the chicken in the middle, right? Press it down, cook it on one side, flip it, and then mix it all together, and then put it over some white rice. It's like a redneck version of a fucking Japanese stir fry.
Excellent. Now, do you guys put up like your Christmas tree before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving night like we do?
My wife
on Thanksgiving or the day after.
My wife does that, so I don't remember. Sometime this week, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
The boy's gonna go. I've mentioned this. Is my mother-in-law had some surgery, and she's been in recovery for a while. So my boy finally, now that he's on vacation, gets to go spend a couple days. So we'll probably put it up when he comes back, so he can be here for it.
Yeah. Well, we always put up our tree like, technically like it's already up, but we'll put ornaments on tomorrow, night after our company leaves and whatnot. So that ought to be fun. And man,
You're gonna get drunk, aren't you, Sam?
I don't plan on it.
Oh.
Maybe.
he's like, well, hold on. I'm not gonna rule it out either.
Yeah, no, especially in my neighborhood, like if some of the guys do gather for a nightcap, but like, man, I was thinking like
A nightcap, he says.
Santa already gave me an like Christmas present this year with Trump's election, because a better administration than this current one is one of the things that I had on my Christmas list. And that was a gift that we all received this year.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Well, just like last year, we all got poverty. That was fun, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
So maybe next year we could get not poverty. That would be great.
Yeah,
that
would
be way better than some poverty for Christmas, huh?
Yeah, that would
poverty for Christmas nowadays even look like? It's like, well, I went on Amazon and I got the knockoff G.I. Joe, you see, and it's made in China.
And it still cost $40.
It still costs $40. That's why you get the knockoff one. See, the normal one used to be $40. Now it's $80. Toys, man. Oh, man. Toy prices for cheap plastic crap made in a fucking slave factory in Ching Chang Chong. I really don't think it's worth the prices they're charging for it. But hey, have some lead while you're at it.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm being informed that Ching Chang Chong is not an actual place in China, Sam. Have you heard about this? Did you know about this?
Wait, it's not?
No. Apparently, yeah. I made that up.
Oh. Well,
news to me too. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just informed that that Chinaman isn't the correct vernacular. anymore. Although,
It's fucking commie, Sam. You got to get it right.
yeah. I've always called them that, but like, you know,
Dirty fucking red. There's another one.
as my grandfather used to say, it's not racist to call them Chinamen if they're from China. So
What if they're women?
well, then they're China women.
Okay. What if they're transgender? What is a woman, Sam?
And they're lady boys.
Well, if they're transgender, then I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, no, that's the middle. That's the Middle East. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, so apparently, yeah, so anyway, it wasn't made in Ching Chang Chong. The cheap plastic wrap was made in Chong Chang Ching, and I apologize to the People's Republic of China for how bad it sucks to be a citizen of it.
Yeah.
Fuck the Chinese government, by the way. Have we said that yet today?
Fuck this.
Fuck the Chinese government.
Fuck the China. Fuck China. China is asshole, basically.
Do not trust China. China is asshole.
Oh, and fuck Vladimir Putin, too. Just while we're at it, like, he can kiss a fucking dick. And who else? You know what? Rocket Man Kim Jong is chilling. He seems to be backing down. Did you see that, was it Hezbollah agreed to some sort of ceasefire, Sam? I'm not sure how well that's actually going to go, but it's
yeah. Well, it's a start, I guess. Fuck Iran. Well, we're on the subject.
Oh yeah. Fuck every tin pot dictator in the world.
And fuck the left too. Trump is your president. Deal with it.
Elect, Sam. He's the president-elect. For now.
Well, yeah. Well, he will be your
he will be your president, reporting for duty at noon on January 20th.
So,
the call's gone out, Sam, and he's picking up the mantle. He's had some interesting picks. You discussed quite a lot of that.
Oh yeah.
We talked about the history of Thanksgiving. What else is there in the news this week? We talked about the left's copes, about why Kamala lost. Also, quick recap. They also blame sexism, racism, voters being stupid, and the media.
Fuck Kamala Harris.
The left is now saying that they need like their version of that. The left is now saying that they need their version of Joe Rogan, which I mean, okay.
They have him. He's called Joe Rogan, except that he quit for their side.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
You know, it's amazing to me, Sam. They have not considered to have Barack Obama just do a fucking podcast. Isn't that wild? Like, because, like, you know that lefties would eat that shit up, right? They would treat him like the Joe Rogan. It's amazing they haven't thought of him doing, like, once a month, just sit down and chat with him.
Well, I mean...
Not that I'm trying to give them ideas, Sam. It's just obvious.
Well, I mean, technically...
He's the best speaker they still have on the left. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong on that, but C-Max, you might not know this, but they actually did try it once before.
Well, I know Michelle has a podcast.
Right, and who listens to it?
A lot of people on the left.
Yeah.
Not nearly as many as Joe Rogan, but that's why I'm saying I think Obama himself, not his wife, could draw a Joe Rogan-sized audience.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong on that. Well, I do know that Obama
and then he could spew his corporate neoliberal messaging directly to the people What's not to love? Cut out the misinformation of a Joe Rogan. He believes in dragons, Sam. Can you believe that?
Yeah,
You believe in dragons, Sam? You're on the
yeah.
spot right now. We need an answer. You're on the record.
Yes, I do believe in dragons.
Can we put up there, editor Sam Whitfield, dragon believer?
I mean, for the view to freak out about that, like, just to totally not get that he was talking like mythology and like, but of course they're not gonna.
No, he wasn't. He was talking about literal dragons, Sam. Don't underplay it. He believes that there was a species that we would call dragons.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
dinosaurs.
And
yeah.
all these fucking people laughing at him think they know every animal that's ever existed. And they think science does too. And guess what, Sam? That's not true.
No. Well, as Bill Maher pointed out, these are the same people who have the "we believe in science" but didn't want to question, didn't even want to test whether or not COVID could come from a lab.
Well, sure. I'm just saying, like, he is of the belief that there was some type of species like a dinosaur alive during human times, enough so that we all have stories about it.
Yeah.
And that's not an unreasonable assumption. And if you want to slander people for having offbeat beliefs, Joy Behar, are you kidding me? Let's go into what you believe in how about let's go into like the silly shit that's in Reform Judaism, which she purports to subscribe to as a religion. Right?
Yeah.
Why don't we go into the silly shit in everybody else's beliefs? Like he personally thinks this is the case. He's not saying he's an expert on anything. He's a fucking stoner with a podcast.
You know what I find kind of like sad that because I've noticed that like people don't like people who are curious about things anymore.
Apex in chat. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Apex. Hope you have a good one.
Happy Thanksgiving, Apex. If you're able to join in, if you want to join in, I posted the link in the group chat. If you want to come in, but if you're not able to, I understand and hope you have a thing.
I don't. You need to come in whether you like it or not, against your consent or against your will.
Well,
we're radio raping you now. You have to come on. It's against your will. I'm forcing you.
Well, there you go.
He doesn't have a choice. She's looking at me like I've gone crazy. He doesn't have a choice, okay? He's getting bonked on the head with a big rock, and we're going to drag him into the fucking studio, and he's going to do his radio bit. Hopefully.
Now he has to do it.
Now he has to run in the other direction as fast as possible. Not as fast as possible, just faster than you.
Which,
Well, how fast does the chair go? When you let her open on the open, like say you're chasing somebody down for the purpose of making them do something they don't want to. How fast could you catch up to them?
6 miles per hour, so decently.
I mean, that's pretty good stalking speed. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the great thing is
you got one of them grabby arm things handy, Sam? That would probably help.
Oh, I wish I did. I
should get one.
Well, I wish I had one that was like big enough to like, that was like human size.
Well, I just want everybody to have the visual of you chasing down like a fat guy with the grabby arm with like a knife in it, like I'm gonna get you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean,
He'd be
I wouldn't.
terrifying. See, everybody's like, "Oh, Sam's adorable," but in that instance, he would be terrifying.
Yeah, it would. No, it would also be terrifying if like all of this, if there was like a home invader or something, but then all of a sudden I showed up chasing them around the house with like, you know,
Like a Scooby Doo cartoon where you're going in and out of doors. Yeah,
yeah,
I can see that.
yeah, pretty much.
Sam's life is a lot like a Scooby Doo cartoon, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it
Um,
here first on the Whitfield Report.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest, Max. As of the past year, like sometimes life feels like it's a comeback movie.
Well, and every time you unmask the bad guy at the end of the episode, Sam, Old Man Mersh.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. He's doing real well, by the way. Like
I've heard, yeah, he's having a
he's
fantastic holiday.
he's threatening to sue. He's threatening to sue Rumble now.
That old holiday lawsuits
for
warms the old cockles of the heart.
For breach of contract, I guess, which is hilarious. Which is hilarious to me because they could actually countersue him for that very thing.
And probably will. Like, good luck with that.
So
again, Old Man Mersh, it was him all along.
Well, I actually, Max,
he was the one stealing all the cats, but why?
Well, it's funny you say that, Max, because
Merch is like, I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you fucking kids.
if it weren't for you Walt Jr. Lookalikes. So
I was nice to you. I was nice to you. Sorry.
That'll never get old. So and I'm glad I was finally able to bring that to Jesse's attention that I was the one who created that meme because it is a great meme.
It's a tremendous meme.
Tremendous.
See, I can tell you're an AEW fan. Everything's great, man. Gotta learn some new words. Tony Khan only has the one. Shots fired. Sorry.
It took me a second, but I got it. Just like it took Tony Khan a second.
Yeah, and then it was great.
But
great matches.
Max, I figured we would go around the horn and share what we're thankful for. So
let's start with Mortheous this time.
Yeah, let's start with Mortheous.
Well, I'm grateful for support of all of my friends and family, especially with my health stuff going on the last couple of months. Everybody's been very supportive, including you two gentlemen.
We'd like to ask, people to keep more in their prayers, during this holiday season. He's had some unpleasantness and in his fight with the Nazis on the moon, as I understand it. So,
indeed,
ran out of bullets on level 2.
But
can you believe it? Yeah, that's rough.
But he's going to get a refill on level 3. So
yeah. Well, we'll work on that behind the scenes. But just figured I'd say I don't know. I've been keeping him in my thoughts and prayers.
Yep,
it's appreciated, gentlemen.
anything else, or
That about covers it. Friends and family is what matters at the moment.
Yeah, we could all say the election, but that's an obvious one, I guess.
I would agree. Max, what about you?
I'm grateful for this will be what 13th or 14th year I'm able to cook for my wife, and the 9th year I'm able to cook for my son for Thanksgiving, and that's very nice. And yeah, for having a good family, for good friends, like good company like you all. And the people are kind of starting to listen to some of our stuff is pretty cool too, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, and for Sam's book sales, because that is just so cool.
Yeah. Well, I would I would say there's a lot to be thankful for. Friends and family first and foremost. Also,
Oh God, I forgot God. I'm so stupid. You gotta thank God.
well, of course.
All praises to the Most High, as my Black Hebrew Israelite friends might say.
Amen, brother. That's
right.
I too am thankful for my friends and family. I'm also thankful for the fact that Florida stayed safe, and our home was spared from the worst of the hurricane.
Yeah, because many people weren't, and it's getting cold, and some people are still like not even having shelter and stuff. It's really awful. Yeah.
Yeah,
I keep them in my prayers and thoughts as well. Obviously, I know some people who were affected worse. Maybe didn't lose houses. Did you see the thing with maybe not, but Lazy Game Review LGR? He has a collection of like antique computers and things, and a lot of it got wiped out by the storm. It was really sad to see.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have some author friends who got their entire book collections wiped out.
People just losing their whole homes, and it's just the devastation. And the administration, like, not to make it political, but the administration's lack of a response for these people is disgusting.
If they can send billions overseas.
Yeah,
they're ready to let us launch missiles at Russia and start World War III, but they can't help these people who had to get hit by a hurricane, and they're about to get hit by a snowstorm.
Can't help hurricane victims. Can't help wildfire victims. Maui.
And they wonder why they fucking lost.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, but like I said again, I'm just thankful that we were spared, and thankful for first responders who are able to help people out there. So, like Max said, we're thankful for everyone who has really supported just my work and Right to Offend Media, and all of the guests we've had on.
It's been an interesting year for the show, definitely.
The show too. I mean, what's interesting to me is I started the year with Steve Stratton, and I'll be ending the year, as far as guests, I think, with Eric Bishop, which, like, my God,
he's already on the next book since we just had him on. He's already got another one.
Yeah, and talk a way to bookend the year, pretty much. And there is some stuff that, like, and there are other guests who want to come on the show, who, like, we're already booking guests for 2025, believe it or not, and, like, I'm blessed to be in that position. And some other things that I can't even talk about yet.
Well, you're blessed, but you deserve it. You're a phenomenal interviewer, Sam.
Well, thank you. And that is that is one thing I want to talk out too real quick is I've noticed that the whole, and I saw that you shared this in the Gilded server, Max, with the whole thing of Andrew Tate's like
The hack.
the hack.
Okay, real quick version of it, ladies and gentlemen, is the Andrew Tate Discord clone, which he calls the real world, which requires a $50 subscription a month to access minimum. There's bigger subscription packages. Was hacked entirely. All the private channels, all the users' information, everything. What information is in there? I bet you nothing's really criminal, but I bet you a lot of it's very embarrassing, and people are parsing through it right now.
Well, yeah, well, there might not be anything criminal, but I'll tell you what, like it would sure suck to have your credit card, info like leaked,
which was a part of the leak, as far as we know.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. Is this information is not even on the dark web because it was obtained perfectly legally because they just had shitty security. And so my point from this is to make sure, like, you understand, like, the internet is not a private place. That's the most important thing you need to know about the internet. It is a public place.
The other thing I would say too, though, to that end, as far as like the Andrew Tates of the world is because people are like, well, Sam, you always, you're always shitting on the hustle bros, but what are you doing with all these interviews? The thing it is, folks, is like, yeah, there's hustling, there is working hard, at getting somewhere. But one of these things that, like, none of these hustle bros, as they like to call themselves, one thing that they never talk about is gratitude. They never talk about, I've never once heard Andrew Tate talk about, and be grateful for the people who helped you out, or
I think it's a larger thing because it stems from a lack of humility. And like guys like us have been through a lot. Fucking humility comes naturally. And guys like him, he's had an easy run in life. So why would he be humble? He thinks he's hot shit because everybody's told him so his whole life. It's obvious. He's a spoiled brat, all grown up. That's what he is. And look, if you think he's going to teach you to be a man, then one, you're not a man. First and foremost, if you're going to pay him $50 a month to teach you to be a man, you're not a man. Not yet. And two, that's not what's going to happen. He's going to put you into his little cult, and then you're going to have the sunken cost fallacy, $50 a month. Well, I want to be part of the inner circle. Well, that's $8,000. I mean, if it doesn't strike you as a scam right out the gate, then you're a sucker, and I don't feel bad for you. Right? And then when all your shit gets leaked, it's like, that's exactly what I figured would happen. And now all of them, by the way, as the video I linked, and I'll share it with anybody that wants to see, it's a guy that exposes a lot of scams and things and hacks. And that's all he really does is kind of area of expertise on YouTube is cybersecurity, right? And he noticed this leak of the Andrew Tate servers, and I mean, it's thorough. It has everybody's information. It's just so thorough. It's 12 gigabytes of just text, Sam.
Oh yeah. I watched the video, and to the guy's credit, like he doesn't like, he blurs out a lot of information. Like, he's not doing anything.
Yeah, but it's all up there on the clear web. This is public information, and it's gonna get exposed, and a lot of these people are gonna get doxxed as a result of it. But more worrying than that is they're the type of rich guys to get targeted by crypto bros, and they're definitely going to be fished and thoroughly seeing how far they can get. If they can get scammed by Andrew Tate, then any other scammer out there is like, oh, well, that's a mark.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I was thinking.
Oh, and if you think Andrew Tate is anything but a fucking scam, you're probably watching the wrong show.
I mean, how didn't Andrew Tate try to scam through a crypto?
Oh, I mean, his whole thing is scams, like the drop selling and all this shit. Like and the whether you think it's prostitution, he was making girls work for him as cam girls in some fashion. It is kind of pimping. And if you're bringing girls from other countries, it's no wonder they would charge you with human trafficking for on top of that, right? Especially if the girl says you held her against her will, which is what's the case that he's facing. I'm not saying he's guilty. I don't know the facts of that case. I do know he's facing that case. And then this hack comes right before he's supposed to face trial for it, which is probably actually going to hurt his case. If he said anything on there incriminating, he should be sweating right now.
Yeah.
But if you fall for this man, like, look, just because he's right about some shit regarding feminism doesn't mean he's smart. It doesn't mean you need a life coach. If you need a fucking life coach, bro, how much to join our server, Sam?
It doesn't take a lot of brains to be right about fucking feminism.
$0.
$0. Yeah, it costs $0 to come into our server and chat. Why would it cost more than that?
It costs
to talk to people, right? Security. The only reason you would pay for a fucking server is security, and guess what?
They have none. It costs
none.
You know who else like is good about who else is really good at motivation is the Spear Talk guys. Like they do real like to me, John and Eric from like those are real men, you know, compared to
you can tell they're like genuine. This is the thing is why can't we be like the Hustle Bros, Sam? Is because we're too fucking genuine for that bullshit.
Yeah. I'm not even saying we.
Well, it's like we're not like
Hustle Bros.
Is the Whitfield? Is there ever going to be a Whitfield coin fucking crypto scam? Come on.
No.
Now we have to. Now we'll just do that. Just to as ironically, that's what they all do, right? They say they're doing it ironically.
Yeah. If there was, I might have to leave, honestly.
Yeah, no, but seriously, more. Don't they all say they're doing it ironically?
All of them.
Yeah.
Every single fucking last one of them.
So I think right here, right now, Sam, we have a big.
Ironically, don't fucking scam your fucking listeners.
We have a chance right now, Sam. I vow that there will be no Whitfield crypto scam ever.
Ever.
It's not gonna happen.
No, it's not gonna happen. I wouldn't even know like how to technically do it either.
Right, and just to be clear, so I can't weasel out of this later. No RTO coin, no Max coin. We're not doing crypto anything.
Nope.
No.
Period.
No.
And we won't be promoting any either. Like I'm happy to promote sponsors, but I don't think we should promote any like crypto sponsors. And I'll tell you, there's a handful that I would accept, Sam. Bitcoin, I would accept. If Bitcoin wanted to sponsor the show, that's a brand I understand. I know, right? Litecoin, and then maybe Monero.
I'll even be up.
These are established coins, you see. These aren't fly by night, and they don't pump and dump. So I would be fine with promoting anything to those. But what I wouldn't promote, right, is some third party on how to buy Bitcoin or any of that kind of shit. We're not promoting any Bitcoin. At least I'm not. And the reason for that is there's too many fucking scams. And even if your shit is legit, when you're pushing the Bitcoin kind of stuff and the crypto stuff, a lot of your audience is going to be sus of you. The crypto bros will love you. Oh, God, they'll love you. But the fucking other people who are sketch of crypto are going to think you're just another fucking scammer among a million others who hasn't done it at this point. And everybody does it ironically.
I'll even be up front and say a couple of years ago, PayPal had a promotion where they would they gave you $5 worth at the time of Bitcoin. I grabbed it and it just sits there.
Yeah. I have no problem with crypto just to get this out of the, like, I have transacted business in Bitcoin in the past. Like people buying in Bitcoin actually was easy at one point because Newegg took crypto as payment, and sometimes because if you just waited for the market, sometimes you get a fucking steal if you use crypto. I trust Bitcoin, okay? I have no problem with Bitcoin. I have no problem with Litecoin. I have no problem with Doge, actually. I had a whole bunch of Doge before it became a meme because we used to use Doge to test crypto miners. That's what it was for. It was a joke coin. It's amazing to me that Elon made it a thing because it was basically defunct at that point. Anyway, it was from like 2012 or something like that. Regardless, there are coins that I trust, and there are vendors that I trust, but I wouldn't promote for them or I wouldn't shill for them. So,
Right.
Because we're not a financial show. We talk about news.
Right. I will also say, just to put the caveat in here too, like just to be upfront, like as far as NFTs go, like I support Victoria Fuller, who runs the Rogue Bunnies NFT projects. That's how I know Karina Harney, but she's doing digital.
I'll promote, like that's the other thing though. We could promote crypto stuff in terms of have somebody on to talk about their thing, but I'm saying we're not going to take any money for crypto stuff. We're not going to get paid to do any crypto. I think that's a good line in the sand for like just to have out there. We're not going to take any money to promote crypto stuff, and we're not going to do any crypto stuff.
Right.
That's other people's jam, not ours. And we're not even shitting on your crypto or whatever. It's just like there's too many scams out there. And then people instantly associate it with it's probably a scam, right? Yep. Even before the cryptos come out, everybody's like, it's a scam. I don't know. They keep being able to manipulate stupid people to buy them, but I wouldn't feel right. I have ethics, I guess.
And I won't go anywhere, personally won't go anywhere near crypto games. Crypto Zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing just seems kind of fishy.
You know, it would be funny to do like a Whitfield coin, but it's an actual coin. With your face on it.
You know what? That
silver.
It's
gotta be silver.
You know what? Like that I actually would be willing to do to like actually like sell like a physical
Today
coin.
On the Home Shopping channel, you can own your very own Whitfield head coin. These are limited printing. You see, they're 1 ounce of sterling silver with you. And you can see the intricate details carved of Mr. Whitfield's face, including headphones. As you see here, the expression on the face is that shit-eating grin that he has on every episode. And it's a very fitting. It's a very fitting profile for Mr. Whitfield. And you can own this coin for $49.99. Which is a steal because this much sterling silver is worth way more than that.
Yeah. I just start buying all the
we should just do a deal with like a gold seller. The thing is, people think of that as a scam. I would be more comfortable with a gold seller than a crypto seller any day of the week.
No, I actually at one point on the show, I actually had I actually had an offer from some gold company, but I was like 20 years old at the time, so I was like, I don't think any 20 or...
And it's not that I hate crypto or that I think gold is better or that I'm shitting on the crypto guys. I wouldn't know how not to be a scammer, you see? And I think that's where a lot of these celebrities get fucked. Is they are too dumb to know that they've become a crypto scam.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the real people doing this, by the way, it's the same people every fucking time. It's not Logan Paul that's actually fucking doing this. They just convinced his dumb ass to sign his name.
They just use his name.
Mm-hmm. And it's the same people go along to all these celebrities and they offer them.
Boogie.
Yeah, Boogie was the same exact people. Yep. And then you end up looking like an asshole. And that's why I say we shouldn't go that route, because then you just avoid that problem.
Well, there are a lot of people who don't. I mean, there are a lot of people who don't understand what crypto. the thing it is crypto is still very much the Wild West. So
Well, Bitcoin's really not, and that's why I guess I because I should say the legacy
yeah,
crypto, like the big dogs of crypto, aren't really the wild. Ethereum's another one that's not the Wild West. Um, there's volatility, but there's a lot more certainty with those particular coins,
sure.
especially if you use like a mainstream trader, like as much as people hate them, like Coinbase and things like that. You're pretty secure. I mean, it's about as secure as like buying stocks online, right?
Yeah.
You still have the risk, obviously, because it's crypto and the market is volatile. But everybody knows the market is volatile, so you get what you pay for. But in terms of like the other cryptos that have now spun off in a million directions, first of all, we made one of those back in the day. We made what coin did we make? Me and Shmuley and a couple other guys made a coin, and there was only like
Shmuel
1,000 of
coin?
them. It might have been Shmuel coin, yeah. But it's really easy to do, and it's a really trivial thing to set up. And if you have the type of investment to do a pump and dump scam like these guys are running, I mean, you'll make a lot of money if you get a face, like a celebrity that particularly has a young audience, because the promise of crypto to the young audience is the promise of gambling. I know that when people talk about crypto, a lot of crypto bros don't like to bring this up, but like for kids, they do see it in the same vein as gambling. And a lot of Zoomers and particularly Alpha have a penchant for gambling and gambling related things like loot boxes in games, skins. You remember the CSGO gambling?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They're doing that with crypto now. And they get these guys all hyped up on they're going to make $1 bajillion, right? And then they just pump and dump. And it happens every time. And it really ruins the crypto market, to be honest with you. But I don't think they fucking care. If you care about crypto as like you can see the potential of it as a currency in the future, then the last thing you would do is ruin its reputation with scams. But they almost have. Like, I would say when about 50% of the population hears the word crypto now, they think scam. At least half. Maybe more than that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that wasn't the case even 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well,
But it is in most of these cases a scam now. And you got guys like CoffeeZilla out there pointing it out, and that's great. But the problem, I think, is if you leave, and they are, if you leave a guy like Logan Paul holding the bag like they have, oh, sure, he made, and Boogie, sure. Everybody's like all mad about this, but here's the thing. The same people that hate Boogie and the same people that hate Logan Paul are the ones that are mad about it will say that they're both retarded. Because they are. And they got scammed probably in some way, shape, or form more than anybody else. In terms of they just sold out their reputation to earn some quick cash. And then in the long term, they get less opportunities from it.
Yeah, totally.
And that's the thing with the crypto market is, yeah, okay, maybe even a lot of crypto is completely legitimate, but once you get into those crypto micro coin type things, it literally becomes gambling. It becomes horse races, and you're trying to pick the winners and losers. And I am averse to gambling, Sam. I don't know about you. I'm not a big gambler.
I am averse to gambling as well.
Yeah. I'm not to say that I won't gamble. I just won't gamble to that degree.
Oh, sure. I mean, occasionally you might get like a scratch lotto ticket, like as a joke.
I'm partial to a good $20 poker game, Sam.
Well, yeah, or that's fun too. But yeah, you're not rolling up to Vegas any of that. So
right, it's always like a budgeted entertainment product. It'll be fun to go play some poker, and here's my $20. Maybe it'll be the kind of thing where there's you can rebuy into the tournament. So I'll have $40 on hand, and then when I'm done, and the thing is, and then you milk as many drinks out of them waitresses as possible, Sam. This is the trick. You gotta be able to hold your liquor. But if you do, you can make way more than $20 worth of drunk. The thing is, you just gotta drink them real quick and put your empty glass down, and some bitch will run up to you pretty quickly. Because not everybody takes the drinks, you see.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
Because gamblers be like, I'm in here to make money, baby. I'm in here to make money. We're gonna make so much money. And so they're like, oh no, I can't take the free drinks. Those will fuck with my brain, you see, and then I'll lose more money. No, it's a scam. And they're right. That's what the casino's trying to do. Because that guy will take the free. The guy is Mersh. The guy will take the free drinks and then still lose shit tons of money. Here's the other mindset of how to approach a casino, Sam. I'm gonna beat the house, but I'm not gonna win money. I'm gonna eat everything at the buffet, right? I'm gonna fucking. Complimentary buffet. Well, don't mind if my giant ass does, then. Thank you. Free drinks, you say? And pretzels. The pretzels is to make you thirsty, so you want more free drinks. Well, thank you very much. That's a great compliment to each other. And the whole while, the trick is to fold. I don't got a good hand.
Genius.
Waitress, I need another fucking drink. give me a fucking margarita. Just keep them coming. I fold.
Yep,
I fold. At 5 drinks, Sam, I've beat the house because I've only spent $20. Now, if I buy back in, I have to get 5 more drinks to it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're like $4 each or whatever. So you average the math out. If I'm going to spend $20, I need to get 5 drinks to get that $20 worth. So I try and get 6 or 7 drinks, and they spike them bitches too at the casino because they do want to fuck you up so that you gamble. But I'm too cheap to be swayed. I don't care how drunk I am. I know what my money is. I am way too cheap for that. You ask my wife, I'm a goddamn miser. Anyway.
Well, yeah. So you're a frugal Irishman, basically.
That's right. And so I know I'm going to spend $20 or $40 if I want to buy back in one time. But if you fold a lot in tournament play, you're really only, and I mean, you're really only on the big or the small blind once every, so you kind of got to play those hands, but you just, like, I don't know, in real poker, see, a lot of guys will play amongst friends and they go all in because they're ballsy because it's a $20 game among friends. But if you're playing with people who are kind of trying to take it seriously, going all in on like a 7 and a deuce is stupid, right? Or even a big bet. So I kind of play the probabilities. I do a little bit of head math, you know. I'm not a card counting kind of guy, but I can do some probabilities in my head of like what I'm going to get or what he might have theoretically. So you play that. Hey, I got a good hand. I'm in. I don't have a good hand unless I'm on the big or the small blind. I'm just going to fold and get another drink and watch this hand play out. Kind of try and read the other guys and just get there nice and fucking toasty. Now, if they don't have that, I do. If they don't have table games where you can play live with other people, the only other thing at a casino I like is video blackjack because I'm pretty fairly good at that.
That's always fun. So.
Yeah, and again, you got to milk the drinks. Milk them fucking drink. You go to a casino, you better get fucking roasted. Make it worth your while. That way, the house doesn't actually win. You see?
Yeah. So I think we've learned a lot here tonight, folks. I think we learned that you got to give your turkey a good rub down in
A
order.
molestation with oil.
Oh my god.
Then you got to clear out the butthole, real nice and wide, and stuff them. $375 for about 4 hours.
And when you're at the casino, you got to get all of the free drinks you can.
That's right. When you're at the casino, you got to be like, waitress, I need a beer. And then later on in the night, it's like, oh, I wish they did blah. And she's like, yes, sir, right away, sir. Here's another beer. Oh, man, casino waitresses are the best. They will get you that shit like that for free.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. So,
what else did we learn tonight, Sam? The Pilgrims and the Indians had a wonderful Thanksgiving despite differences, and you should too.
mm-hmm.
Owen Benjamin is a gay, bear, mentally ill man that we don't talk about because that's not as interesting as it sounds. There's a lot of those these days, Sam.
No.
Like, if we cared about every homosexually mentally ill guy, we would just be watching TikTok all day.
Yeah, that's true. Although, like, I have to say, because I do post like clips of the show to TikTok. And the one thing I've noticed.
Bye, TikTok. It's been nice knowing ya. Get out of here.
Well, TikTok.
Sorry, especially.
Well,
yeah.
Well.
Nah. Nah. Hey. Goodbye, TikTok.
Well, I'm not as upset by it going away as perhaps some people in the studio are. But the one thing I've noticed is that like TikTok has essentially become like the home shopping network.
Hell yeah. They make the stuff popular and then they make you able to buy it for like it's a brilliant marketing strategy. It's a more direct version of Saturday morning cartoons and then tie-in toys. Like they get you hooked on these cool people on TikTok wearing these items, and then they sell you these cheap Chinese pieces of shit for $13.99 when it's made for 25 cents by a slave little boy in China named Chin Chong.
Okay. So here's the thing, Zoomers.
Shout out to Ching Chong. I respect the hustle, brother.
So here's the thing.
You'll get out of those mines one day, Ching Chong. I promise.
So here's the thing, Zoomers.
No, we won't.
No, we won't. Shut up. You gotta give them hope or it'll stop working.
So here's the thing, Zoomers. I don't want to hear you guys complain about your grandma watching the Home Shopping Network all the time, because if you're on TikTok, that's essentially what you're on now. It was the Home Shopping Network. So many
TikTok
of those
is worse.
Do you care about little Ching Chong at all?
I mean, I do.
No.
No, they don't give a fuck about little Ching Chong, do they?
No.
Solidarity with Ching Chong.
Solidarity with Ching Chong's parents. So I see, Max, you're looking around.
Maybe good job.
You're looking around.
Ching Chong is from Ching Chang Chong. Well, we just got canceled in China.
So you mean like
China? China is asshole.
Oh, so you mean like the 0.15 we lost, like the one like the 0.1 live viewer in China on
Oh
Spotify.
no, because that was the CCP. That's actually fun fact, Sam. It was Xi Jinping himself. He's a big fan.
Oh well, if Xi Jinping is watching, then
Yeah, he doesn't speak English, so he doesn't understand a word of it, but he really likes the show. That's what I heard.
Well, my beard is a bit scratched right now, and so
What's funny, Sam?
if he's watching,
Did you know that there's multiple sign languages, Sam?
I do.
Did you know in China, I learned this, Sam. In China, there's a word for brother in Chinese Sign Language. Are you familiar with this? You hear about this? It's you extend just the middle finger like this, right? This means brother. Did you know that, Sam?
No, but now, oh my God, you just turned me into you just turned me into a fucking super villain, Max.
A giant middle finger. Brotherhood.
Well, because like that's what my friends and I used to do to each other, and so now I can just say, "Hey, fellas, I just learned that this means brother in China."
Well, that's why me and my brothers would always flip each other off, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a universal symbol of brotherhood.
And the worst part is Maxine will still roll her eyes at you. That's
okay, because it's not the word for sister. I don't even know what that one is. Why would I know Chinese Sign Language, Sam?
Why? Because you live in America and you don't have to. That's why.
You know what's great is like you get clips, right? But if somebody really wanted to clip, they could make us look terrible. Or great, or however they wanted to, because I spew so much bullshit on this show to make everybody uncomfortable.
And yet we still keep getting viewers every week and viral clips.
That's because they're intelligent people.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And they're amused when somebody just says something silly rather than taking it seriously and running on Blue Sky and writing a 19 word post about how much they hate the Whitfield Report because they said a mean thing on Twitter.
Oh yeah, because Blue Sky, that's really taken off, right?
I like it because they act like nobody's watching. Did you see the shit with the particular game the art designer there?
Yep.
I did.
And he's like, "Hey, I'll just go on Blue Sky and trash art
director.
Yeah, Avowed from Obsidian, which is a shame because I was looking forward to that game, and up until this point, for years, I'd not heard anything about it being woke, and then all of a sudden, all at once.
Yep, fuck this art director. You've completely ruined the game.
And he's like, "Oh, I won't say anything on Twitter. They're toxic. Let me talk shit about my customer base." And here's the thing, Sam. That's going to be a Game Pass game, and that's why I knew about it and was looking forward to it. But you know what? I can skip it. I mean, what is it? Skyrim knockoff? Well, Obsidian already did a Fallout knockoff called Outer Worlds, and it was meh. It was all right. I have a feeling this is going to be all right. But if they want to be all woke and insult their customer base,
been good enough.
Insulting your customer base is where I usually draw the line.
Yeah.
That is 100% where I draw the line.
Yeah. Yep. Same here.
You know,
Stephen King.
whoever that customer base might be, it's like a direct insult to your customer base. Well, then why the fuck should I buy from you if you think that about me?
Yeah,
I had a little bit of a meltdown on Mort's show the other day about Gary Gygax related things, Sam, because it's fucking like, what the fuck?
well, yeah, and that's the whole thing, man. Because like other authors are like, why are you always shitting on Stephen King, Sam? I'm not shitting on Stephen King for having political opinions. I'm shitting on Stephen King because he shits on me for having, my political opinions.
Well, and he wants to talk about misinformation. I was just rereading the book The Institute, okay? And early on in the book, it references that Trump is president because a librarian who comes across one of the main characters is bitching about it. That's why she's transporting books. So she'll give him a ride if he helps take the books. And on the way, she explains that the Trump administration is making them get rid of all these books. He wrote that in 2017, Sam, and that didn't happen. And it's not going to happen again because he's retarded. The old man's just gone senile. It's boomeritis, man. Boomers are the weirdest generation, I swear. I was just thinking about this earlier, and to my wife, and I was like, if you chronicle the story of the boomers from beginning to end, it is the weirdest generation in human history.
I'm laughing because you're absolutely right. Yeah,
because the reason I came to that conclusion, Sam, is we were talking about elderly people. That people in your family, and they're like, oh, my elderly complex. It's like a one of them teenage drama shows where who's sleeping with who, and it's like, yeah, that's actually kind of unique to the boomers. Like, it wasn't that way as much for their parents because one, no Viagra. Boomers are the Viagra generation, Sam, so they're gonna have sex long after they should. Two, okay. Two, boomers, right, have a much higher rate of divorce than any previous generation. So what ends up happening at these old folks' homes, what it used to be is old couples would retire together in them. Now they're like singles complexes with boomers have not grown. A lot of boomers have never grown up, right? They're still like teenagers in their mind. And so they're having their parties and they're swinging like they're literally in their 20s again, having a grand old time. And because of this phenomenon, we have seen in literally boomer age STDs. Did you know that's the largest demographic growth for STDs among any demographic? See, Zoomers are terrified of STDs, so theirs is super low. Millennials are a lot of them are at the age where they're settled down and married and stuff, so it's lower among them as well. Obviously, there's single millennials as well, but like there's less single millennials than there are Zoomers, and Zoomers are afraid of apparently sex, but also STDs.
Old people sex in nursing homes is rampant. Can confirm.
Yeah, it's so rampant that they have like all of the old classics: AIDS epidemics, syphilis,
gonorrhea,
especially gonorrhea. Old people with gonorrhea has become like a pandemic, Sam. And it's because they've turned the old folks' homes into singles swinger nests of like widowers. Like, not all of them are divorcees, obviously. A lot of them are widows and widowers, right? Guys and gals that lost their spouse. And then a lot of them are divorcees, right? And they're single. They're all single, you see? And they're boomers. And one thing about boomers is they love to party, bro.
And then some of them aren't even single. They're just fucking cheaters.
That too, yeah. And so and that's where the drama comes in, right? And they all have nothing better to do but talk about all this shit too. So even the ones that aren't involved in it are little gossipists. And I think it would be funny to set like a 90210 style show in a senior center and treat it like super serious drama too. Like not even play it for laughs, right? Just like a serious drama show about old people's relationships at like a fucking living, like a not like a old folks retirement place, you know?
Yeah. No, that would be.
And there'd be like the one main guy. He'd be like, what would the main guy be? He's the swingeriest of all. He's the cool guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something here, and you guys are totally not gonna believe me, but just trust me. I know this specifically about New York. If one of the parties can't physically fuck anymore, they can request, and the staff members cannot deny helping
Assistance,
Yeah.
love making assistance.
literal fucking assistance. Yes.
Have you heard about this? Did you know about this?
What?
Oh, Mort, could you repeat that?
Here in New York State, if two parties want to get it on, and one of them physically cannot, they can ask for an aid for a lovemaking assistance, and like staffer cannot deny it.
And they got to hold your hand.
It's viewed as a right.
Oh man. Oh, what a job. Oh man, don't be a nurse in fucking New York. Jesus Christ.
Imagine you're like
Good job, Mr. Thompson.
no, imagine
Keep going a little further.
Imagine that you're
He's almost there. I can tell by our heart monitor.
Oh my god!
Don't worry, we'll wake her up after.
Max!
Give her a Valium.
Imagine that you're some nursing student and you're interning in the nursing home because you have like a good heart, and then you have to do that as like part of your fucking
we got a code S in in room 12, Mr. Thompson again.
No,
hold on no more. Now, does this apply to masturbation?
No.
Oh my god!
I need a nurse. I need a nurse bad, baby. Give me one of them cute ones.
The only way it applies to masturbation is handing supplies.
Oh, but what if they can't? What if their wrists are broken? New York is being incompassionate to the disabled. Jeez, we have to rectify this. And they need assistance in their masturbation. That's the liberal way, isn't it?
No, I've heard that in Vegas nursing homes they'll help you with. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding either. Like I've heard that like in Nevada, they will assist you.
It would be in Nevada.
Yeah, the
assisted masturbation is hilarious and also horrific because even if it's a sex thing, man, where's the consent for the fucking isn't that the point you quit your job?
Well, and also that's also sad though.
I know nurses put up with a lot of gross shit. We all can agree with that, right? Like there are nurses that see the most but this is a line, right?
You would hope.
Yeah, you would. Well, that's also.
Oh, but they mean well, Max. But it's like consent is real, bro.
Well, that's also like.
How is it the liberals are always the ones making consent weird? Didn't consent just used to be easy, right? The girl says no, and you're like, I don't know.
No actually means no, fuckers.
Yeah. Or
that was never confusing to me. Consent. Now they try and make it confusing, and I think they're confused.
Well, no. Now they've tried to make consent a fucking bureaucracy too.
Well, yeah. You got to file paperwork on college campuses, right?
Yeah.
Well, isn't that sexy? Hey, baby. Before I take off your bra, can you fill out Section 3, Form 5?
Can you sign this consent form for me, please?
That
Well, no, she already signed the consent form, but I need her to fill out section 5, right? Because she didn't check box 3.
In triplicate.
And I need to know if she consents to what's in box 3. You know what I mean, Sam?
That was literally what South Park did, though.
That's the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then, but before we proceed, you signed it. I get that, but we got to go to the notary, and get it official. That's sexy as hell. That's sexier than putting on a condom, huh? Yeah, that nothing will kill the mood faster than literally paperwork. What the fuck? But no, it didn't used to be hazy. Like even there's that Sublime song about date rape called Date Rape, right? And like everybody listening to that song understood that like that's wrong. Right? What he's doing in that song is objectively fucking wrong. That's the point of the song, is to draw attention to the fact that it's not okay to literally rape somebody on a date. And so our generation never really considered, like, obviously there's date rapists. The thing about rapists is I like to punch them in the face, one, if possible, two, this idea of like a rape culture that these feminists talk about. Like, we have the opposite of that because we really kind of hate rapists and like pedophiles and things like that. Like, sex criminals are treated worse than every other variety, regardless of what sex crime they've committed. Sometimes even unfairly. Like, a dude taking a piss in a park gets put on a sex offender registry and everybody thinks he's a pedophile for the rest of his life, right? Kind of sucks. But that's because that's the stigma of a sex crime. Maybe you were just taking a piss in the park, right? Maybe you just couldn't hold it anymore and there was no bathroom anywhere and a cop just walked right the fuck up to you. That could happen to you. And then everybody's going to think, because they're on the registry, so people in your neighborhood get informed of this, you have to know about it and things like that. So sometimes it's not fair, right? But that, even then, it's like, yeah, exactly, because we don't take sex crimes lightly in our society. We treat the offenders, especially when we know for sure what they've done, and sometimes even just on the word of an accuser, we will run these people through the fucking ringer. Yeah. And so this concept of like this, I've seen a lot of TikToks lately of women that say that they feel unsafe, and it's laughable. It's laughable in America compared to some of the people in various other countries and the way women are treated there right now, let alone historic. They want to talk about historic injustices all the time, right? But historic injustices pale in comparison to what happens to women in even some Middle Eastern countries right now. And I don't see them in Palestine. Ironically, women have very little rights. And you see these liberals out there protesting for Palestine as if it's some bastion of liberal ideals. Well, that's wild to me. It's the least progressive place on earth.
Well, that's what Bill Maher was talking about exactly in that clip we played last week, where he was mocking all these liberals supporting Palestine and gay rights, Well,
alone the gay stuff, right? Just the women, right? And then another thing, it's like Anna Kasparian was saying on the show with Piers Morgan today that I found, and even my wife was taken aback by this, that when she was sexually assaulted by a homeless man, people painted her as the bad guy, that she was stigmatizing homeless people.
She's talking about she's talking about the before, and I did hear that. So that would be unfortunate. So
yeah, I mean, he violated her. I don't even want to get into specifics, not maybe a full-on drag her in an alley rape, but like close enough, and very uncomfortable for a woman alone in public to be assaulted in such a way. And obviously it's going to make you nervous, and she's walking her dog. It's a thing she has to do regularly, so she talked about it. And they decided that she was the devil. She needed to be canceled. And I'm thinking, what? you're literally blaming a sexual assault victim for her sexual assault. Have we gotten to the, now we're going to say, what was she wearing at the time? Is that where we're at? I believe this happened to her. There's no reason not to. She filed a police report. She did all the right things. It was prosecuted, right? But it's still an unfortunate thing. And like, women in America shouldn't have that happen to them.
Absolutely not.
I don't think that's a controversial opinion, Sam, is that a woman in America shouldn't be groped by a random stranger in public against her will, right? That and so I'm not a feminist, right? But I do think that that's a very obvious line in the sand. And I also don't think a man should be groped in public, but that's not usually a fucking problem that we see.
Right. Well,
she was groped, and he pressed his erection against her, in her words. That's awful. I don't care that she's a crazy liberal from the Young Turks. That's a horrible story.
It is.
And then she had the decency to address the root of the problem is this homelessness, which leads to crime. She's not wrong. And the mental illness problem that's not being taken care of, which is the root cause of a lot of the homelessness problem, as well as the drug epidemics. There's a lot fucking going on here in the underbelly of society that they don't even give a shit about. They say, liberals will tell you they have all these programs, and then it ends up with fucking people living in fucking tent camps outside.
Yeah, well,
and waiting in bread lines.
Well, and look, I'm not saying that it's good that she, that she suffered this way. It should have never happened in the first place. But I will say I am glad that she, I guess,
she's recognized the cause, which was Democrat policies, because she said you can't blame. I live in Los Angeles. You can't blame it on the Republicans in the town. You can't blame it on the Republicans in the state. You can only blame it on the Democrats that run all of that policy. And then at the time, Joe Biden's the president, and the Senate is that, like, they had control of everything. She's saying the problem happened on Democrat watch. And what are they doing to win her over? They're going at her because she said, as a feminist, fighting for Title IX was important to her. And to see the Biden administration abolish Title IX the way they were going to wasn't good. And that's not an attack on trans women. If you understand the history of Title IX, actually, from a liberal point of view, or like a second or third wave feminist point of view, the idea of Title IX was to have girls' sports in schools, to have girls have a safer space where they could compete without guys around, and trans women coming in, whether or not they feel like they're guys. Some of the women do, and it makes them uncomfortable, and that's the whole point. They shouldn't have to compete against men.
Right.
And and if that makes me, again, makes me a feminist, again, like, I don't think women should be groped or raped in public, right? And I think that Title IX is good. So if that makes me a then I guess I'm a TERF.
Well, people used to give me shit because I said way back in 2014, I was like, man, if I were just a straight guy who was a perv, and I just wanted to perv, on women in the locker room, I would totally say that I identify as a trans woman.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a lot of reasons a young man might do that these days. Think about it. The attention that you would get, positive attention that you might not otherwise be getting. Yeah. And they will, if they're even remotely encouraging it, which a lot of them are, like, or if you have an encouraging set of parents, because it's trendy. Oh, I'm an upper rich. It's literally, it's funny. The transing your kid thing is a signal that you're rich. Did you know this?
Oh, well, I didn't notice.
Think about it, Sam. Poor people aren't transing their kids.
Well, yeah, right. I have noticed it though,
they can't afford to trans their kids. That
was the thing that Gabe and I talked about the other night on the Monday show.
It's literally a wealth signal, not even a virtue. It's a wealth signal, Sam.
Yeah, well, and that's
like remember, like, right around the time you were growing up, you probably went to school with some of them, where rich white women would adopt Chinese girls to virtue signal about how rich they are and how much they cared. about the one child policy in China or whatever. They adopt a whole generation of rich, waspy white women decided they got baby fever for a little yellow girl. And they would all adopt these because the one child policy, everybody would try and get rid of their girl so that they could have a boy.
Yep.
A lot of them got aborted. But a lot of them got sent to America and adopted. And you probably grew up literally with some adopted Chinese kids in your class.
I absolutely did.
And that's what I mean. They did that to signal their status, right? Now, a virtue signal is to signal your status, yes. But these ones are particular, and they don't even realize it, that only a rich person could adopt a fucking Chinese baby or to trans your kid. We've looked into this. It's a $50,000 procedure from beginning to end, right? On average.
Yeah.
Poor families ain't affording that. Maybe a poor family can let their little boy dress up like a girl, okay? But even then, I'm telling you, it's a wealth signal. And it's amazing that they don't see that. That's why they're in their own bubble. They're in their ivory tower. All the people signaling the loudest are the people who actually have a soapbox to stand on, so to speak, right?
Right, yeah. Well, they're the ones who don't have, as Gabe put it, they're the ones who don't have to worry about, the price of groceries, so they can afford all.
And so they don't understand why you poors do.
Yeah.
And then Joe Biden says something casually like, well, people have money to spend, they just aren't. And they believe that. I'm telling you, I've talked to some people in the upper wealth scale who do believe that.
Oh, yeah, no.
And when you point it out to them that it's like, no, this affects us even more than it does you, because 20% inflation to you is maybe you cut back on eating out. 20% inflation to somebody on the bottom of the fucking pole, like at or below the poverty level, is the difference between a meal every day.
Yeah, 20% inflation to them is, I can trade in my sports car from last year to this, to this year.
Yeah, I gotta get I gotta extend my lease for 1 year because I can't get a brand new one yet. And maybe this phone will last me one more year. That's what they're thinking about. But the person at the bottom scale is like, I don't think I have enough food for this week to feed my kid.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not on the low enough totem pole. This is the unfortunate part. There's a rung above like the welfare level, right? Where they call you too rich to get help, essentially. Yeah. And a lot of people, they can't get the food stamps because their regular job, they make so much money, and it seems like the standards of the government are out of whack for a lot of people because they're making like $25,000. I'm not talking huge numbers, and they're like, well, you don't qualify for any assistance,
Right.
especially in the healthcare side of things, right?
Oh yeah.
Like if you're in the below poverty line, you probably have good healthcare. Because there's the Obamacare, essentially. The lower rung does get enough that they can afford most things unless you get something unfortunate like diabetes or some other recurring disability that requires a medication. But for the most part, right, the lower rung gets decent care. It's the people right above, the working class, right, where they go and apply for help and they're like, oh, yeah, well, you can get a little help. Your premiums are going to be, I don't know, fucking $2,000 a month. Family of 5, yeah, $2,000 a month, $2,500 a month, yeah, $2,500 a month. And you're like, Jesus Christ, that's more than my rent. But then if anything happens to anybody, I don't have insurance. And then you think you got insurance with these kind of crazy fucking prices. And what you end up getting is you go to the hospital and they're like, well, sir, it doesn't reach the deductible level, and so you're going to have to pay out of pocket for the whole thing anyway. And also, we don't cover this medication. So that's going to cost you too. And that's what happens to the working class. And they go and they apply for help and they're like, you're rich. What are you talking about? You make $25,000. We're only going to help out the people that make $19,000.
Yep.
Yep.
And every so often, I'll talk about people like Sam and I want a hand up. We don't want a hand out. And this is exactly the type of shit that I'm talking about.
Well, they don't want you to want a hand up, right? That's the Democrat way. They want you to want the hand out because
Yep.
they want to feed a man forever because that makes a man dependent.
Exactly. They want to keep us on the plantation, so to speak.
Yeah, it's a lot of the welfare programs are a poison pill because they're hard to get out of. Like, then you get a job and you lose that insurance.
You immediately lose everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you're fucking, if you get canned in that probation period, oh well, fuck you. You got to go reapply for everything if you're lucky. Go wait in line at the bureaucracy. Yeah, and this is a kind of waste, man. There's a whole department of people, right, whose only purpose in life is to make all of this fucking a hard time that you could just get rid of and cut people direct checks.
Yeah.
That's exactly what, like, the kind of thing I guarantee you that, like, Vivek and Elon are proposing.
And that's what the Democrats do with the fucking illegals. They just cut them fucking checks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why couldn't you cut our homeless veterans a check, a bigger check?
If you can cut fucking illegals goddamn checks, why the fuck can't you cut?
If you can blow up Russia, Ukraine, Palestine, and Israel, you can get some veterans some fucking wheelchairs.
Yep. Amen. Yeah.
I know, Sam, and you too, but I'm saying
if you can cut illegals checks, you can cut us checks.
Oh yeah,
Right?
no, and I would actually say that veterans are a higher priority, for me.
Yeah, we have veterans on the street that require fucking care that have just been let down by the whole fucking system. I know, I've met these people because unlike a lot of people, see, I don't like. Man, that's the thing. Is
I say give the homeless veteran my wheelchair. Just do it.
Well, at least form a queue and you guys will let him cut. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
But where's the queue at all? Where's the priorities at all? It's all out of whack.
Fucking illegals.
Not only that, but it's a bunch of fucking paper pushers, man. Even with the illegals, if you got rid of the fucking paper pushers, we'd all be doing better. Because all they're doing is existing just to fucking take money out of the fucking system.
Yeah, you know what?
Parasites. I'm going on my Kurt Doolittle rant, I guess, Sam. But that kind of parasitism from the top on down, right, of all these paper pushers whose whole job it is to check a box for a 1 and a 0 on a fucking sheet of paper, right? And the paper doesn't need to exist at all.
Yeah.
It's like that part in Office Space where they're like, "What do you do here?" And he's like, "Well, I make sure that the people do the paperwork."
Yeah,
like, I deal with the engineers so they don't have to because I have people skills. All that fucking shit. That's all these people are. They're useless bureaucracy sucking on the tit of the taxpayer while they send bombs and bullets to go kill people in other countries and leave our veterans who they put in harm's way in the first place fucking homeless on the streets.
Well,
it's not a hard solution, right? Those paper pushers should be homeless out on the fucking streets, and those veterans should be fucking doing those jobs. I bet you a lot of them would do a better job.
I can imagine if we had a couple of veterans who were just running the healthcare system, I would get better healthcare from someone who knows how the system.
Yep, 1,000%.
At least the VFW, right? At least TRICARE and all the fucking the military stuff should be run by some veterans because they've run up against those walls before. Well, they know how the system works, especially Vietnam guys, especially, right? Because they've been dealing the dance with the fucking Veterans Affairs since the 70s at the very least.
Oh, yeah. Well, my physical therapist is actually, he's around your age, Max, and he's an Iraq war veteran.
Oh man, they let our boys down so hard.
They
My heart breaks for them as if I was one of them. Let me tell you, because a lot of my friends are them, and a lot of my friends died.
Yeah, well, but he's also one of the best PTs that I've had as far as like me being an adult. I mean, like he pushes me, but he's also been like very sympathetic and like, yeah, Sam needs let's get this paperwork going for
Well, those early, the war when it was for the guys my age was like Fallujah and shit like that. And if you look, like, I know I'm an anti-war guy, right? But you look at the Battle of Fallujah, and what those men did was incredible. Even though, I lost friends in that battle, it's incredible because I stopped looking at it as an anti-war activist for a moment, right? And I, talking to my veteran friends, telling me about it, I can put myself on the boots, guy. What it's like for him to go into a fucking house, not knowing if the people inside are friendly, if there's anybody inside at all, how many people, if they're friendly or if they're actual fucking terrorists who are about to shoot you, if they have children, you don't know any of this shit, and every house is laid out different, and they told you got to clear out this whole town, door to door. And by God, them fucking men, the stories of heroism in Fallujah are endless. It's a heart-wrenching tale. So, like those guys are a different breed, man. And they've been left behind by the system every bit as much as the Vietnam vets, but the Vietnam vets bitch more.
Yeah.
And there's more of them, to be fair. There's way more Vietnam vets. Like Iraq, there was no draft, you see, so it's a little different.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's where we should end too. I'm thankful for the vets and for the troops. And
I'm thankful that we have a regime coming in that is pretty much anti-war in spirit.
Yeah.
And so maybe we can get some of those boys and girls home for Christmas. That's what I would be thankful for.
A fucking man. And I think that's a good place to end.
Some of those dads,
I think that, and I think that's a good place to end on, folks. So
happy Thanksgiving to all. God bless.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep. Have a good Thanksgiving, folks. We'll be back on Monday, and we'll be celebrating Christmas here before you know it. Take care, folks, and God bless, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Thank you for watching the Whitfield Report live on the Right to Offend Media Network. Make sure to check out Sam's books on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. You can follow Sam on X at SamW_NGC and the Right to Offend Media Network at RTO Media. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. And until next time, God bless, God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy, in that order.